Holidays, just slightly over a week to Christmas, and we need to have a conversation regarding our youths. Yes, indeed, Kenya is a young nation. Over 70% of its population is youth aged below 35 years. And looking at the youth, every day they wake up with a bold, and also they wake up with dreams, aspirations, but also face the harsh reality that is on the ground. Things are not working out. There's the lack of job opportunities, limited opportunities, lack of guidance. That is a live discussion that we'll be having and today as well. On this news check, we'll also be looking at our roads, because trust me, we really need to have this conversation on television, on radio. We need to have this conversation. We are losing a lot of people on our roads. That is on the second hour, but on this first hour, allow me to be talking about youth opportunities and mentorship. And on set, indeed, we have one person who have done that, has done entrepreneurship, has also done mentorship, and known as Eunice Mburu, who is a youth mentor and also founder 20X.
Yes.
You'll be telling us 20, is it 20X or 20 times?
20X entrepreneur.
20X entrepreneur.
Yes.
Just next to her, we have Peter Austin Njue, who is the chair, Youth Aspirants Movement. Karibu sana.
Okay, thank you.
And to kick off this conversation, Eunice, maybe you can tell us what exactly you are doing when it comes to the mentorship space, and which gap are you trying to fill?
Yeah.
Maybe you can just touch something in regards to what you do at 20X.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are helping the young people, the micro enterprises, to transform their mindsets, to move from survival to productivity. And the other thing we're helping them see is that there are opportunities. How do we train them to spot opportunities, and finally we train them to add value. Yes, because money is reward for value added. Therefore, for you to make money, because the young people, the micro enterprises, they all want to make money, and they need to understand how to make money. And it is by value addition, value creation.
Value creation. You'll be telling us all about that, and what are some of the challenges when trying to fill this gap.
Yeah.
But Austin, I'm looking at youth mentorship, and also I'm looking at what you guys are doing, being the chair Youth Aspirants Movement. What exactly do you do? It matters governance and politics, right?
Yeah.
What exactly are you doing as a chair of Youth Aspirants Movement?
My main objective and my main job as the chairman of Youth Aspirant Movement is to make sure that the youths are united. The unit of purpose, to bring all the youths who are vying in different positions in this country, we bring them together. We focus on one goal of ensuring that at least 50% of the positions of the national seats are taken by the youths. Because in leadership, you cannot say the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. Tomorrow begins today, and today begins with the youths of today. Yeah.
And when we talk about Young Aspirants Movement, it touches a lot about matters politics and governance, right? Yeah. And we have seen that since the IEBC started their mass voter registration, the numbers are not quite convincing, especially when it comes to move. How are you going to have your voice if you cannot have the crucial document, that is the voter's card?
You know, the youths are not on this. They are somewhat reluctant on taking the voters' cards, but I'm sure they will do so as time goes on. You'll
be telling us what, as a young aspirants movement, what exactly you are doing.
We are educating the youth. We are educating them on in different counties. We are moving from county to county, telling them the importance of them taking the voters' cards and going to the polling station and voting for their favorite candidate, whereby we are advocating for the youth to be voted in the next coming government. Yeah.
All right, Eunice, I'm looking at some of the biggest challenges young entrepreneurs come across, and how are they addressed, especially now that you have already dealt with thousands of youth.
Yeah.
How can they circumvent these challenges?
Yeah, maybe we need to start by mentioning some of the challenges, so that then we see how they can be solved. One of the biggest challenges is that many people get into business because, of course, everyone is pushing people to get into business. And the truth of the matter is not everybody can be an entrepreneur. but everybody must find ways to do value creation, so that even if you're employed, you're looking at what is the gap, what is missing in this place I am looking for the job. How can I be the contributor? How can I add value so that then they pay me money? So the challenge is that people start because it is, either it's what is trending or it is what we are pushing them to. But, you can be a value creator within an entrepreneur, another business. So you don't need to start your own. So we lack also collaboration. So we imagine that I can do it on my own. It's my business. I have to ngangana, the Kenyan style. I have to hustle through it. But we need to learn collaboration, cooperation, asking, what skills do I have? What skills do you have? How can we combine them to build what the customer wants? Yes, so those are two problems. Number three is now, and this is so amazing, that I've been to 38 counties as we speak, and there's one complaint about everybody, every micro enterprise, every young person. They say, hakuna biashara, economy is bad.
Yeah.
And when you ask, okay, show me your records. So how do you know it is bad? And they don't have records. They can't remember even what they did last month in terms of how much did you sell, how many customers did you have, how much did you sell, what was the profit. They cannot give you that. But the economy is bad. How do you measure that? So many young people and micro enterprises are running businesses like walking in the darkness, like you just wake up and you decide what to do today and that's it. But you can't measure. What is not measured cannot get done. And therefore, the song, the economy is bad. But actually, no one can actually tell whether it is good or bad because they have no way to measure that. Yeah. And finally, we have a mindset of taking as a country. We like to take. You wake up in the morning and ask, who will give me money? Who am I going to sell to? Instead of waking up in the morning asking, who is my customer? What do they need? How can I serve them? Do you see the difference between that mindset?
Yes.
There's a taker's mindset and there's a giver's mindset. The giver's mindset wake up to ask, who needs my help? Who needs my support? And how much can they pay me for that support I give? Yes.
And you'll be telling us, the next question will be how you support young entrepreneurs practically. Is it through training, funding, mentorship, or even networks? But I'll still pick from what she has just said in terms of even networks. And how are you empowering your youth? One thing I'll tell you about politics is that I was in the by-elections that just concluded. And there's that propensity of, using youths because you have the money themselves. But you yourself, because also youths are not empowered. Now you're talking about youth aspirants movement. You have to empower them first so that, they make rational decisions when it comes to matters governance. How exactly are you empowering youths themselves?
Our movement is not just a county movement or a regional movement. It is a national movement. Whereby in every county we have a team of youth aspirant movement. In every county we have organized the team that will be monitoring what the needs of that county and tackle ensuring that there are those who are distributing the parts for the girls. We have the project of selling chicken, goats for example, in Kwale. We have chicken in Kwale. In Busia, we have a team there who have taken the duty of rearing goats. They sell them at a price that is higher than what they bought it, and that profit they go helping the needy, like the elderly, the orphans and all that.
And is your movement, do you have any affiliation to any political party in the country?
No, as youth, during the 2023 demonstration, 2023, yeah.
2024,
2024, yeah. The youths, the JZs were saying they were leaderless and tribeless, partless. But in that, that's why we came together. And no, the movement was there before. But after that, we said, no, we have to be organized. We must have a party, we must have a leader, and we must have the way forward. So, coming with the way forward, we must have elections from different counties coming together, every tribe represented, so that we are not tribal.
Do you have any party affiliations?
No.
Not yet.
But we'll have our own. Yeah.
You'll have your own?
Yes.
Is it in the pipeline or is it already...
What?
Is it the party there already?
No, it will come in the near future. The party is not registered just like another. There is a process that must be followed, following the laws, yeah.
All right, you'll be telling us, because I'm quite sure this is one voting block that all politicians will be looking at, the young generation, because they have the most votes. And so how exactly do you plan not to be influenced by politicians? Because if I come with some big bucks, I can maybe buy out some youth, just like it has happened in other elections.
Yeah, you know, the main problem of the youth is that they are jobless. They need money, and once you give them money, it does not mean that they'll vote without knowing what they are doing. The economy, like Eunice has said, the economy has taught us something. Yeah, you must vote using your brain, not your stomach. You'll give us the money, we'll use it, but during the voting, that's my secret.
All right. We will be looking at, because we have seen politicians time and time again, you know, transform something that was quite good for the youth and it becomes something political. But I'm looking at still the same thing that you're talking about, the economy and everything. You've worked in 38 counties. Yeah. What support are you giving these young entrepreneurs? Because some of them have done some of the workshops in here in Nairobi. Yeah. Youth have very brilliant ideas. Yeah. So how are you supporting entrepreneurs in practical ways? Yeah. Is it matter of financing? Is it matter of network? Is it mentorship?
Yeah, you know, ideas are that, ideas. And for it to move from idea to business, there need to be structure. So one of the things that we are helping them is to create structure in their business. Now, a structure means that understanding first, who is your customer? We don't start, and many youth actually make a big mistake, not just youth, but businesses, to start with the product. So you start by building a product instead of starting with the customer. Ideally, for any business, for any job, because I want to say that Kenya does not have a joblessness problem. Yes, it has a value creation problem. Because if each and every child is taught in school to understand, to add value, then we'll not have a job issue. In our business, 20X, we recruit salespeople. And you know something? We are not able to find people who are willing to do the job.
Why is that? And
so the jobs are there. So this is how Kenya looks like. We have organizations with jobs, and then we have young people on this other side who are complaining there are no jobs. And I am speaking this because we do this, recruitment. So we have a database of thousands of young people. But when you interview them, you only see people who are looking for money. But they have no way, they are not thinking of what value they are going to add in this organization. They don't even do a simple research to understand what is this organization I'm going to be interviewed at. What do they need? What challenges could they be facing so that I can, you know, align those simple things. So I say there is no joblessness problem. It's a value creation issue. So how do we support? Number one, we mentor, we train and mentor. In the training, one of our focus is on mindset transformation. A mindset of, because complaining, a mindset of survival, a mindset of dependency, that somebody else is coming to do it for me. Because that is so much in Kenya, that I am waiting for the president to do it. He promised. So we will sit here and wait. And like last week, I was in Vihiga, and they're telling me, Madam, there are no jobs. We're waiting. What are you waiting for? There are markets that have been built. What are you doing about it? So we help them see opportunities in this noise. And for example, one of the way we train them is for you to see an opportunity or to see an opportunity to add value, you need to listen. And you listen to people's complaints. What are people complaining about? What problems are they saying, that are existing? And like in Vihiga, we used a simple example. They told me that they have a problem of, was it insecurity? Yes, insecurity. And we asked, what business opportunities are in that? Just imagine how many businesses that can come out of that. Insecurity in Vihiga. CCTV sales, starting a security company, training young people. There's so much that somebody can do. And then once you spot the opportunities, to ask, who is willing to pay for this solution I have? And then you go look for those people who can pay you for the solution that you already have.
Yes.
Who is affected by this insecurity? That person will definitely pay you to solve their problem, isn't it?
Yes.
The number two way we teach them to see opportunities is to listen. What is government doing? Where is money going? Because government policies move money. It moves money from one place to another. When you hear the president saying, we are going to the first world, have you stopped to ask, how does a first world citizen look like? You can say how impossible it is, but have you even imagined yourself as a first world citizen? How do they think? What do they do? So that you start aligning. You understand? Number three is to look at what is the market looking for and what is my skill gap. So that for those who are looking for jobs, is a question of, because jobs are there, but how am I skilled to fit into that job opportunity? How am I bridging that gap? So we train them first, and then after that we support them with mentorship, so that because it's a journey. Moving a mindset of dependency to productivity is not easy. It's actually the hardest work. It's easier to give people just money. Money is the easiest, but do you know it's not a capital problem we have? It's a mindset problem.
Yeah, and I totally concur, because I say I've been in media for a couple of years, and the moment that I started mentorship, and I was mentored by one of the most recognized faces and voice in the country, that's when I started seeing opportunities, things that I didn't used to see. Austin, I'm picking up from where Eunice has left in terms of opportunities, and I'm looking at also, because yours mostly as a movement, you want to tackle the issue of governance in the country and politics as well. And I'm looking at why many youth leaders lose credibility as soon as they enter the political or institutional spaces. I will take you back to 2024, during the Gen Z protest. We had some very vocal voices, and even in 2025, we had some very vocal voices, but unfortunately, some of those voices have already been swallowed up by institutions or even governments.
Some youth leaders are not there as youth leaders. They are there as projects of some people's projects. They are used by the top leaders to come and disrupt or divide the youths who are united on one mission. I will not mention names, because they know themselves how they used to pretend that they are leaders of Gen Zs when they are not. They were not, and they cannot be, because they do not qualify even to be one, because they have proved to be hypocrites.
But you might run into this issue, and especially now that after in the next 2 weeks, we'll be in 2026, we'll be talking about elections next year. We run the same risk of losing this very able and dynamic young people to politics and to the great divide in the political space? Because you need to remain united, just the same way you said you're united, you're tribeless, you know.
But yeah, we are tribeless, but we are not partless. as from next year, we will not be partless because we are focused, and we were advised by those leaders to be tribeless, but never to be partless.
How do you measure the accountability? Because you've said that you have your team in all the counties. How do you ensure that you stick together for a common purpose?
Before you give your leadership, you have to be vetted by. We have a team that you must go through. You are vetted, and then you are given that role in different counties. Then you bring your team. We check, we cross check, and we give you go ahead. But taking back what you said about 2024, we feel disappointed by the leaders who came saying that they are our leaders when they were not, and we are trying to organize ourselves to get our own leaders from the chairman, who might be changed to something big, whom we can support and become our president. We are not that small. We can organize ourselves and front one of our own to be our presidential candidate.
All right, that's governance. Let me go back to the figures, Eunice. And what is one myth about young entrepreneurs that you can debunk? I'll give you one. I don't have money to start a business.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm too young to start such a venture. Those are some of the myths. But you have traveled over 35 counties in the country.
38, yeah.
38. And you have seen some of these myths. And you have been able to debunk some of these myths.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of them you mentioned, that I need capital. Yes, every business needs capital. But it's not the first thing. Okay. You don't start with capital.
It's not the first thing.
No. Yeah. It is very important, but it's not the first. So the first is you need a customer. And I'll give you a practical example. For example, you're in media.
Yes.
And you want, I know you're not living KBC, but if you want to start a business in that, the question is to ask, what do people need? You know, and you've been interacting with a lot of people, a lot of businesses.
Yes.
What is their biggest complaint? You don't start what every other media person starts, the PR agency and everything, because you're going to just compete.
Yes.
But you ask, what is their biggest complaint? Okay? How many are they, those people? Are they many, are they enough to support a business? So let's say you have that is a market. You're looking at the market size. And then once you understand how big it is to ask, how much are they willing to pay? Okay? Then you start trying. You say, okay, I'm going to offer Eunice this package for, say, 20,000 shillings. And then Eunice will negotiate. What you're trying to measure is to see how much is Eunice willing to pay for.
Yes.
You have to do the work, the real work. And this is where the work is. Now, once Eunice agrees to 15,000, then present that to another customer who is similar to Eunice and see the response. And then eventually you are likely to find that the pricing point is 15,000. Evaluate whether it pays you. I mean, it's profitable and the margins are good. If the margins are good, then you have a business. You get, you start now selling one at a time. Then you need money after that. But you don't start with money, because once you start with money, and I am a victim. I mean, I did this.
You started with cash first?
I started with money. So when you have money, what happens is you want to have a big office. You want to be big. You buy nice chairs. You want to do all the non-important things in a business. And then by the time you start doing the important things, the money is over. And then you start complaining, hii Kenya biashara ni gumu.
Yeah.
I was funded. I was funded by I started Chartered Bank when I started my first business. It's called B-Smart. I got some funding, and thank God, because the funding was tied to mentorship. So it was released in parts. So we got $10,000. So you put up a budget, you show how many customers you have gotten, put up a budget, and then the money is released in small portions. That is after I got broke. That's when I got the funding. That's when I learned that it's not money first. It is customer first. And understanding my business is something we call product market fit. Achieving that, then you look for money. So that is a myth that capital is the number one. It's not. Just look at all businesses that start with big money. They just
take a long time to maybe to hold ground.
They take a long time. You have to get broke first, then you find the customer.
Okay. When we come back to you, you'll be telling us which are some of the because you talked about you had a loan from a bank.
No, I was given...
funded. You were funded by a guy.
Yes.
But when it comes to funding, young people are finding it really hard. Which are some of these avenues that the young people can try maybe to explore if they are starting out small? But Austin, I'm looking at mentorship, because you're talking about mentorship as well. And you being the young generation, you also need a mentor. Who has been your mentor? And especially when it comes to politics, it's a difficult coin to toss, because you might be having a mentor who is aligned to maybe a political faction, or who is having some political ideologies that are not shared among each and every one of you.
We do not have a specific mentor, but there are leaders whom we follow their leadership examples, like the president. The president has come from far, from selling chicken to presidency. So that is one of the best example the youths must follow. Come from bottom to up. And I like the ideology of the president, because that is the best.
Is this your own opinion, or you also speaking for youth aspirants movement?
I'm speaking on behalf of the youths of Kenya. Yeah,
and also as the chair.
Yes.
Because the reason I'm saying this is because the moment that you've taken a political side, there are some people who might not share the same vision or the same idea as you.
Even if you are 3 or 4, one of us will not agree with me.
But you're the chairman.
Yeah,
you're the chairman.
And the chair, she has what the members say, or what the majority stand for. So our mentor, or the person whom we look for, where he has come from, is the president. Because if you look for the history from where he has come from, and you follow slowly, that's a very significant example for every youth to follow. Don't expect to start from top. Start from small. As Eunice has said, learn something, anguka, then you continue.
That's a very turbulent journey. But it's okay. Eunice, speaking from where he talked about and starting out small, but unfortunately youths are finding difficulty when it comes to funding. In as much as you do remember, there are some people who are so happy that you can be able to, when the Hustler Fund started, that as little as 500 shillings. There are some people who saw 500 shillings as a good opportunity. Well, there are some people who said, oh, Miatano, are you serious, guys? What can you do with 500 shillings? So when it comes to funding, young people are going through a lot, and you can attest to that because you have been supporting a lot of them. So how do they maneuver this in terms of how they access cash?
That's a very good question. And let's start from where he left and where you have started. Starting from bottom, the bottom. And let me tell you, I love the Hustler Fund structure as a business person. And I just told you that how I was funded. It was a competition, Women in Tech. I was in the first cohort, and I was among the people who won the award. But they did not give us the 1 million at a go. It was you work, validate, get the customer, get a budget to get more customers, then the money is released. Small enough.
The same way you say that you don't start with capital, you start with the clients.
Yes, small enough to push you to the next level, and then like that. That is the best model for financing a business, and that's why I like the Hustler Fund. Why? And any prudent lender would start the same way, because I'm looking at, this is a national fund, and you want to know people who are serious about business and those who are not. So you release 500 bob first. The serious people will pay back. The non-serious people will take and not pay back. That is the risk that every lender will have to face. And I'm sure they had calculated and knew this number will not pay. But you release so small, because business is not just about money. So you want only those who are serious to keep doing it. So yes, many young people say it's too small. As we speak, I've gone to 38 counties. I have met people who are now borrowing 50,000 as we speak. Some are borrowing 35,000. Others are borrowing 10,000, 3,000, because they have been borrowing and paying. So how do you navigate the capital cycle? Please start with the Hustler Fund. If you cannot do a business starting with the 500 shillings, then you're not a business person. Yeah, just forget about it.
All right. And I'm also looking at the same. In 38 counties that you visited, which are some of these maybe small businesses that we can talk about success stories? I'm saying this because a lot of youths are watching, and a lot of them are home for holidays even, and they would like to know maybe some hustles like kidogo kidogo, which can uplift them. Some are in college. I was raising my own money, some of my pocket money while I was in college, but that has been scaled up by the internet. So which are some of these success stories, small success stories, which you have seen in some of these counties, which some of the young people who are watching can also try and indulge?
I will actually start with one that started with no capital, so that you understand that you can start a business without capital. She started with it was Isiolo. Was it Isiolo? Yes, it was Isiolo.
The other was that I started with a feather, now I have
this one started with a comb.
A comb?
Yes, Kichana.
All right.
Kichana. And she just advertised on her WhatsApp status that I can braid.
Okay.
And people start saying, okay, come and braid. Do you need capital to do that? Braiding hair, doing hair like mine?
You just need the skills.
You don't need the skills. So if you say 500 bob is small, then what do you say? I would say, I started selling insurance. You know, selling insurance is a business?
Yeah, and
because you sell, you are paid commission.
Yeah.
Now, young people, please learn how to sell. You will not need capital. Why? Because you need a business that has a product that your customers, the ones you have identified, need. And then they go between. And you earn your commission. Commission and profit, what's the difference?
Well, the both are money.
It's money, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's get over the idea that I must have money. And of course, because of this crisis, if government is doing a good job of, there is now the Nyota Fund.
Yes.
50,000. If I was to do that, I will not give them a whole 50K. 50K is too much money for a person starting a business.
Really?
Yes, that's too much. You just need 5K or 3K.
Okay. I want to give you, you guys, I'm informed that we almost start running out of time, but Austin, what is the future of youth aspirants movement as we go matters governance? After this December holidays, the political mood is going to change, because we were talking about next year's election. And you know very well, after every election cycle, Kenyans revert back to campaign mode, just like we have seen in the by-elections that have gone. What are you looking at the crystal ball and the future of your youth movement?
Youth aspirants movement, as the name goes by, aspirants. This team is composed of the aspirants, or the people, the young people, who have the ambitions of becoming leaders of the country in different positions. So, what we expect from them is to mobilize their team from where you come from. Mobilize your team, ensure that the youths are registered to vote. That is number one. Then start putting in mind that Gen Zs should have a leader.
Okay.
And
Okay.
next year we should have a plan.
And a political party as well.
Even if there will be no political party.
But you said you organize.
Yeah, it can come or it may not come.
Okay.
This
They can
the
join.
movement is enough.
All right. All right.
Before-
Unfortunately, my director informs me that we have
Let
run
me
out of time. I
finish.
just want to give Eunice 1
I
minute
finish.
to-
For any youth to go far, we will be endorsing youths from different counties, and I'm expecting to be endorsed next year. Yeah.
All right.
I'm expecting the youths to endorse me,
All
to be
right.
their leader.
Let's
yeah.
wait for that. Eunice, we are
Yes.
informed that we are running out of time, but so I'm kindly asking the future and 20X, you've done a lot in the last couple of years. Just looking at some of the statistics, and you've also won a number of awards just because of that work. And there's a youth out there who is feeling hopeless and would like to maybe to join and maybe to see how you can be able to help. How can that possibly help?
Number one, if it's a youth and you're looking for a job, we recruit sales people.
Okay.
Now, the beauty with selling, you don't need to go to school.
You don't
Just
need
find a
capital.
product, learn how to sell, come.
Yeah.
Go to 20X Entrepreneur. We are on YouTube. We are on all the social media as 20X Entrepreneur. Yes, there are opportunities. There are those who are looking for mentorship. Yes, we have mentorship programs. Please just find us. Yes.
All right, and we will also open up this conversation more in regards to what we are looking at, and especially when it comes to youth opportunities. And also, there are also mentorship, and also in the digital space, we have a lot that is happening. Well, that's where we put a cap on our live discussion this morning. I've been speaking to Eunice Mburu, who is the youth mentor and is also the CEO and founder of 20X. Just next to her, we have Peter Austin Njue, who is the chair Youth Aspirants Movement. Many thanks, Ili, for joining us for that first hour. We are looking at the festive season, security and safety measures, and I'll be hosting Samuel Musumba, who is the manager road safety programs at the NTSA. I'll also be having engineer Mawazo Kato, who is the axle load control manager at the Kenha, and Dorothy Migarusha, who is the deputy director corporate communications at the National Police Service. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
George Kamau Muhoho joined politics when he left priesthood and ventured into politics in the 1983 polls when he contested and won the Juja parliamentary seat. It is believed that his decision to join elective politics was influenced by the experience of his brother-in-law, Kenya's founding president, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Prior to that, Muhoho was ordained as a Catholic priest in 1963 and served the church in various administrative capacities. At one time, Muhoho the priest rose through the ranks of the Catholic Church to serve as private secretary to Pope IV. In addition to service to the Pope, Muhoho was the first black African Pope or envoy to Brussels, Luxembourg, the Council of Europe, and NATO. Muhoho left it all behind to enter local politics, and after his win in 1983, President Moi appointed him Assistant Minister for Education, later elevating him to Minister for Tourism and Wildlife in 1987. As tourism minister, Muhoho is credited with using his connections abroad to market the country as a preferred tourist destination. Under President Moi, his notable efforts included fighting poaching, especially of elephants in Kenya, which had become rampant in the late 80s. After his cabinet exit, Muhoho, together with Mwai Kibaki, Njenga Karume, and John Keane, founded the Democratic Party DP, and he was very instrumental in ensuring President Mwai Kibaki became president in the 2002 general election. In 2004, President Mwai Kibaki appointed Muhoho as Director General of Kenya Airports Authority (KAA), where he is credited with overseeing the construction of a new modern wing at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and a new airport in Kisumu City. However, in 2008, the Efficiency Monitoring Unit raised questions over the expenditure of 1.7 billion shillings on contracts by KAA. The unit, together with the Inspectorate of State Corporations, revealed the KAA board and management had failed to comply with regulations in the awarding of contracts. He left the position in 2010, after which he joined other members of the Kenyatta family to campaign for Uhuru Kenyatta, who became the 4th president of Kenya. In 2017, Muhoho also campaigned for President Uhuru to retain his seat and eventually left the political stage to oversee vast Kenyatta family businesses. For the cabinet, I'm Njue.
To the world, the Lord is come.
The holiday season is here again.
What?
It's family time.
Tunaanguka nayo.
Oh yes, it's a season to be jolly. And so, grab a seat, relax as your favorite Christmas hosts line up to indulge you this year.
It's about to go down.
There's a lot of food and drinks to go around.
It's delicious.
Great music for the soul.
Merry Christmas.
It's unbeatable. It's joyous. It's Christmas on KBC Channel 1.
Not suitable for this project.
I'm not suitable. By what metric do you decide who's suitable?
Lots of metrics. Have to understand, this has nothing to do with me and you.
There is no me and you.
Dacha will keep leading the team in Sana. You come back to Chongqing, and all will be well.
That is going. It'll be a long time before I see him.
That goes for us too.
But I have to leave something. I can't just go back with my tail between my legs.
And today we want to go to the reality of self-leadership. We have many broken people trying to lead men who are already sober and okay.
For me, one of those lessons that stand out loudly is self-leadership, purpose, and well-being as key drivers of good leadership.
Pack of lions led by a lamb will defeat a pack of lambs led by a lion.
There's the uniqueness that you are born with that gives you the the right to lead in your own right.
And we will be celebrating what Christmas was, what Christmas is, and what we hope for it to be in the future.
It was during Christmas that we saw our families together.
There wasn't that much money in the house, so a lot of the Christmas tree decorations we'd make ourselves.
Yes.
We'd make a card for mom, a card for dad, and then we'd sign it together.
People have found other ways of entertaining themselves. They go to clubs, they go to churches.
And it's just about all of us being sensitive enough to say, who needs me this Christmas? Who needs some cheer? Cheer could be a plate for someone.
Let's be mindful of others. Let's celebrate together. Let's just knock on somebody's door and ask them if they're okay.
Wengine hudhani kuwa Uislamu ulimfanya mwanamke kuwa duni, asiye na sauti wala haki, lakini ukweli ni kinyume chake. Uislamu unamtambua mwanamke kuwa mwenye haki kamili ya kumiliki mali, kusoma, kufanya kazi halali na kuchagua mwenzi wake wa ndoa.
Je, maiti ana haki gani kwako wewe ndugu Muislamu?
Wewe ni mwenye kupitisha desturi yao. Wao baada ya kufa, wazazi hao walikuwa na desturi ya mambo ya khairi ambayo walikuwa nayafanya. Ndiyo, kama walikuwa nayo, tafadhali usiyasimamishe.
Ana sisi natetemeka mpaka polisi akasema wacha si naanika hii watu kwa jua kwanza. Sasa sisi akanikwa kwa jua.
Kama nguu. Kwa nini unakubali kupepo na kali ya nyama? Wewe ni nyama.
Wewe amka.
Kijana wewe lala. Mtu asikusumbue. Hao watu ambao walipepwa hapo ni wanyama ama ni nyama?
Anapeleka nyama ya binadamu ambaye yuko hai.
Watu si nyama.
Hao watu iko hai. Wewe anabebanga nyama ya wanyama.
Na ndio wewe sasa uliamua kubeba mwanadamu ambaye iko hai. Na gari iko -1. What did you expect?
I expect them to die.
Yes.
Ala.
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima
tunajifunza umuhimu wa maziwa ya mbuzi,
kisha uwezekano wa kupanda mimea mingi katika kijisehemu kidogo cha ardhi.
Kilimo tunapata mboga hatununuangi sisi, matunda hatununui, na pesa ukitaka kila siku lazima upate pesa.
Ungana nasi Jumamosi saa 10:30 hapa KBC Channel 1
kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo.
But it's not appropriate that she comes to my house to try to seduce you.
We all know that's not true, Rebecca.
It's just that I'm in love.
Are you out of your mind or what? That man is a lot older than you are. He could be your father.
You have the gift of making me relax.
Oh, really?
Marcella doesn't know about this, but I was pregnant with his baby.
What are you saying?
It's been a long time. The last time we saw each other was right here, when your sister's accident happened.
Habari muhimu ni zile zinazoathiri maisha yako, na zinapojiri tuko hapo.
Tunakuletea habari zinazojiri nchini na kimataifa.
Hakuna kabila ambayo iko hapa Kenya kwa mwaliko ya mwingine.
Mambo ya matibabu isiwe starehe ya watu wadosi.
Tunakufahamisha kila wakati ili uwe tayari kwa yajayo.
We will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
Katika ulimwengu unaosonga kwa kasi, usahihi wa habari ni muhimu.
The only thing that has changed, Senator Khalwale, is that you are defending the indefensible. If you allow me as a bullfighter, I'll fix him here and now and it will be sorted out.
You were doing very well until you brought out your character of bullfighting.
Tunakupa habari sahihi na zisizoegemea upande wowote.
Pindi tu walioteuliwa wataidhinishwa na bunge la kitaifa.
Na ni hapa ndipo
Darubini,
kila siku ya Jumatatu na Jumanne
saa 1 jioni.
Welcome back to KBC News Check. On the second hour, as I had mentioned earlier on, is that we are looking at the roads. And even you look, if you take today's newspaper and look at the headlines, just tells you how green the images are, and also tells you how we are doing badly as a country in terms of our road safety. And when it comes to Christmas, of course, everyone is not everyone, a lot of people are traveling, and that just exacerbates the situation. According to this paper, we're talking about 4,682 people killed in 2025, a 5% increase from 4,479 in 2024. And remember, we still have about 2 weeks to this year. And of course, the traveling has started, and we need to keep our roads safe. That is the kind of discussion that we are talking about, the festive season, security and safety measures. We're also talking about security in your home as well, because as much people will be traveling, that's the number of incidences of crime also increased. But the National Police Service has said that indeed this time round we are on top of things. Allow me to introduce my guest. We have Engineer Mawaza Kato, who is a senior engineer at Kenha in charge of axle load control. Karibu sana, engineer.
Thank you very much, Njue.
And indeed, thank you so much for making time.
Thank you.
Just next to him, we have Madam Dorothy Migarusha, who is the Deputy Director, Corporate Communications at the National Police Service. Karibu sana, Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Njue.
We are also waiting for Samuel Musumba, who is the Manager, Road Safety Programs at NTSA. But before we do, I'll begin with you guys, and I want us to find out exactly what, because you've had a multi-agency meetings, you've had multi-agency plan out of how you're going to be having the Christmas festivities. But I'll begin with you, engineer. What exactly is Kenha doing its part, and how is it doing its part when it comes to safety measures over this Christmas festive season?
Thank you very much for inviting us to this place today on this very important discussion on road safety. I think it is something that we really need to take seriously. Over the years, a lot has been done towards reducing the road crashes that we are witnessing, but unfortunately, for some reason, the numbers keep increasing. I think we need really to first agree that road safety does not lie on one single office or one single department of the government. Road safety is the responsibility of each and every one of us, starting with the road users, the passengers themselves. Then you come to the authorities. We have the enforcement in the police and NTSA, as well as the engineering aspect on the vehicles and on the roads themselves. So ourselves, as engineers in Kenha, our role is to make sure that we have safe roads. And in doing so, we also preach the gospel of basically having safe systems. This means safe vehicles, safe drivers, and safe roads and everything in the total system. So our role as Kenha and what we have been doing is making sure that the roads are as designed, because you can be sure that when we design roads, we have safety aspect in the design. So during construction, we also make sure that we construct with safety in mind, and this is making sure that the roads are properly properly marked, the signages are in place, the curves to allow the speeds and everything. Also, we go beyond just the normal engineering, and also go into the soft part of it, the social part of it, whereby we acknowledge that human beings make mistakes. And when mistakes are made, it does not need to be catastrophic. So we design roads to allow for these mistakes to be done and accommodate and minimize the damage that will be the damage that will follow in case of a crash. So during this festive season, we have been collaborating with the rest of the departments, government departments, as well as the general public in notifying them the importance of the system's approach to safety. On our side, we have had a campaign to make sure that all our roads are free of potholes, where we have these safety devices such as guardrails and road signages. Those which have been damaged, we bring them back to place and make sure the roads are safe.
We will be getting back to you in regards to exactly what you are also practically doing on some of our black spots as well. But Madam Dorothy, I'm looking at the National Police Service, and it's a hive of activity. I don't know even whether there will be anybody on leave over this festive season, because we're looking at also security in as much as we're also trying to fortify our roads. Well, how has the National Police Service prepared itself, especially for this festive season, to ensure that not only are our houses safe, but also at our roads are safe as well?
Thank you so much, Mr. Njue, for this opportunity that you have given us as the National Police Service to come and communicate to the members of the public of our plans that we have put in place so that we can ensure that they enjoy the Christmas season without worries of security. First of all, I want to state that as a National Police Service, we have put an elaborate security plan that can assist us to ensure that the members of public enjoy their Christmas festive season in a secure and a peaceful manner, so that we have a crime-free incident Christmas season. First of all, we have cancelled all the leaves that have been in the process for the National Police Service officers. All of them have been recalled back to their duties so that we can intensify our security operations during this season, so that we can ensure that members of public can enjoy the festive season. And we have also laid out a national security plan to ensure that we intensify security in our villages, in our towns. And
hold the thought, Madam Dorothy, and apologies for that. I'm informed by my director the microphone is having some challenges, but we're going to be checking that. My colleague Phineas here will be looking at it. But allow me just to welcome Mr. Musumba. And we had a very fruitful engagement in the morning. And many thanks indeed for making time for us, because we really need to know exactly what NTSA is doing, and also Kenyans who are watching needs to know how they need to be prepared when it comes to our roads, especially when for the festive season. The numbers don't look very good in terms of the deaths so far, and we still have 2 weeks to the end of this year and end of this month. So kindly, what is NTSA preparing for us as a nation in terms of our road safety?
Well, thank you for having me around again.
Yeah.
The season we are in today, we anticipated it. I mean, all of us know that Christmas is December. Quite a beehive of activities. And around the first of this month, we actually did invite quite a number of stakeholders together to look at the issues right in the face, because we anticipated increased travels. The demand for transport definitely will go up. And when that comes up now, it comes with so many other challenges, you know, incidents on the roads. Like now we're seeing, you know, speeding, overloading, people just doing crazy things because of this hype season. And so what we did was really come up with an agreed plan of preparedness, both government and even the stakeholders in the transport system. We brought on board the transporters themselves, trucks, the matatus, the speed governor limiters, dealers, the responders, our colleagues from the National Police Service, all of us. We thought that this time round, we do it a bit differently, that we do it together. Because this is not an NTSA problem alone, it's not an NPS problem alone, but it's all of us, you know, hands on deck. And so part of the preparedness plan activities that we have put in place are really checking on compliance issues on that road. That every vehicle that is moving either from Nairobi to other destinations, it has to be safe. It has to be roadworthy to really be on that road. And so quite a number of checks happening already with our colleagues, National Police Service. We're doing a lot of that. The second thing we are looking at is the drivers who are on these roads. Because this season brings in on board even drivers who have licenses that have expired. Guys who sometimes sneak in, even without licenses. They'll find themselves on these roads. So we said, no, we have to be alert on this to just check that each driver on this road is also compliant. The other thing that we are looking at is the alertness of these drivers. How are they? Are they fit to drive, for example? And this comes with the other challenges of people even taking, alcohol as they drive, stopping somewhere and taking a drink, and they want to hit the roads. So we said, really want also to ensure that even the drivers who are actually on these roads are alert, are fit to drive, are not people who are driving under any influence. So those checks that we're looking at are also including, also that. The other thing that we are alive to is the rush at this time. People want to get to destination X and back and all that. The business guys in the transport sector want to cash in and all that. So we said we have to now slow down these people. We have to check on speeds. And that is an area that we are really checking on speed. If we find you speeding, then you're in for trouble. Coupled with that also now patrols, the highway patrols. It's good that we are working very closely with our sister agencies, KENHA from the Axel Weight, and the other patrol system that are on the road, just to ensure that no vehicle stalls on that highway, no vehicle causes inconvenience to other motorists as well. Unfortunately, the Nakuru incidents that involved is the coach bus. That was quite unfortunate. But that has really even made us now to enhance those patrols in the night and also in the day. The whole idea behind it is just to ensure that people move smoothly, people move, safely. Alongside that also, with our colleagues from the emergency response service providers, St. John's, Red Cross, and other volunteers who have actually committed to be on those highways, particularly places that we think are serious high-risk locations. And we mentioned those places. We know what will happen in those places. So we said, can we place even ambulances in those places, responders in those places, so that should something happen, can we get quick response? So that nobody dies actually on that scene of incidents. So all that, and a lot of enforcement now going into a lot of checking on every vehicle on that road. Sure, nobody overloads, nobody carries excess passengers. We are really alert on all this because we know those are really the challenges that we go through in such high season, period. So we are really keen on just to ensure that everything moves smoothly. Because we anticipate jams because of the many vehicles that are there. But we're informing the public that please just plan your journey so that you don't get up yourself in Limuru, Sokomjinga, the blue post areas that have notorious of jams.
Choke points.
Exactly, they're choke points. We're able to just plan ourselves. So alongside that, of course, there's also a lot of awareness we are creating.
And we'll be talking about awareness because we have been doing, we even see some stickers in matatus, we have seen your campaigns on TV and on radio, and we'll see how the impact of that and what maybe needs to be done too. Madam Dorothy, I'm looking at the National Police Service and the way you began before the microphone had issues is that there's a good thing you've told us that no one is on holiday. You all will be at work. And there's also something new that has come up is that you're working very closely this time around with the judiciary in terms of trying to sort out the cases and very, very quickly so that we may clear out the backlog that has been there maybe in the courts. And yesterday even the Chief Justice Martha Koome did allude to the fact that they also be more alert in regards to these cases so that they are expedited. What more are you doing as the National Police Service, especially this holiday season, because at the end of the day, even last year we were having the same conversation on what the police service, KENHA, and also NTSA, you are doing in regards to the accident. But the numbers are still staggering. What are you doing different this year that will ensure that we have less numbers than we have already?
Thank you so much, Mr. Njue. As we have already elaborated by my colleagues who are already here, that the National Police Service is collaborating with other agencies in the multi-agency approach. We have the KENHA, we have the NTSA, we also have the judiciary, we have the National Government Administrative Officers who will be assisting us in ensuring that we have a secure and a peaceful festive season. On our roads, we have put up a robust traffic operations on our roads. We shall be having traffic checks on our major roads, and we shall be liaising with the judiciary so that those who have been found to have been culpable of breaching any law, they can be taken through the justice system, and so that they can continue with their journeys wherever they are going. Apart from that, we also have specialized units in the National Police Service. We have, for example, in the Administration Police, we have the SWAT team. In the DCI, we have the specialized team. We are also working with them so that they can ensure that we secure our major cities, our towns, and also in our villages. As I had already mentioned, we have a very elaborate security plan. And the security plans starts from the village level. We have the sub-county level, the county level, the regional level, and the national security plan, so that we ensure that people can have an enjoyable festive season. I've already elaborated that all officers have been called back to duty so that we can have enough officers to secure the county. We have plans to make sure that our entertainment joints and our traveling hubs, maybe the bus stages. You know, right now so many people are traveling to different places in the country. So we have ensured that we ensure that there is enough security in our transport hubs and also on our roads. We have also intensified our checks in the border, the entry points in our borders and also in our airports. So we have laid out a very robust security plan so that each and every part of the country is covered, so that people can have a very enjoyable Christmas season.
And you'll be telling us now how we should be able to keep ourselves and our houses safe, because somebody like me will have to maybe leave somebody in my house because I will travel together with my family and leave my house here in Nairobi. What are some of these red flags that we need to look out even for our houses as well, and even on our roads as well? Engineer Akato, I'm looking at overloading of vehicles, especially everyone living, you know, you see buses having even seats, mattresses, you know, shopping, you know. And how serious is this problem during the festive season, and how has KENHA prepared for that? Because they damage our roads.
Yes. Thank you very much for bringing up that matter of overloading. I think the issue of axle load control is one of our very key mandates. Personally, I'm from the Department of Axle Load Control, so I know what happens there. Maybe I'll start first by emphasizing the importance of controlling this axle load. You know, when a vehicle is manufactured, the manufacturers usually know the limits that they are expecting the user of that vehicle to carry. So the entire system, from the accelerating the engine to the braking and even the stability and suspension of the vehicle, is pegged on a maximum weight. And the way the weight is distributed also on the vehicle has a very big impact on how the vehicle operates. So when you come to overload the vehicle, it totally interferes with the mechanisms, and therefore brings in an aspect of safety issues. Because when you have an overloaded vehicle, you will not be able to brake accordingly. So the stopping distance becomes much higher. When the vehicle is overloaded, even the handling of the vehicle as you are driving becomes a problem.
Yeah.
So we are really keen on making sure that we do not have overloading. Another very serious issue of overloading is that we are damaging our roads.
Yeah.
Very seriously. I think this is something which we really need to consider, because we invest a lot of money. I think currently the road asset is valued at over 3 trillion Kenya shillings. And it is very unfair to have just a few people damaging that asset. Maybe if I can bring it into perspective, you overload a truck, for example, so that on one axle you have, say, 2 tons in excess, because the limit should be around 8 tons per axle. So you have 10 tons on one axle. The impact of that 2 additional tons basically means if all the vehicles were to load the additional 2 tons, we have designed a road for 25 years. You know what that means? The damaging factor of that additional 2 tons is a factor of 3. So the 25 years, you divide it by 3.
Yeah.
So a 25-year road gets damaged within 7 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Imagine the impact.
That's just one road.
That is how bad it is.
Yeah.
So basically, overloading, we as Kenya, as I said, we control axle load. We have way bridges on our major arteries. I think from Mombasa to Malaba and other major roads. We also have virtual way bridges, which are totally unmanned. We make use of technology so that we install the sensors, the cameras, the number plate readers and everything, so that once a vehicle drives through that point, it is weighed, and if it is overloaded, it is flagged and tagged in the system. So that the next time you will be passing near a way bridge, you will be you'll be called in, and you'll have to bear the responsibility for the overloading that you did previously. We also have mobile way bridges. I think these ones, I think the public needs to understand that Kenya is not out to harass people. We usually work with our colleagues from NPS. We stop vehicles randomly. It is not targeted. We stop vehicles randomly so that we protect the network beyond where we have the fixed way bridges. So we stop the vehicle and weigh it. If it is overloaded, then it's going to be charged accordingly, according to the Traffic Act or the East African Community Vehicle Control Act. So those are the things that we have in place to deal with overloading. And we also have another aspect that we look at, which is the dimensions, the sizes of the loads on the vehicle. You realize you have vehicles which maybe have carriers on top, especially this time of the festivities, whereby some of us would want to travel with everything to home and maybe come back. So you get the loading that is done on the carriers goes beyond the limit, because we have a limit in height of around 4.3 meters. So the vehicle goes beyond the limit. When these vehicles come through our way bridges, they are going to be measured, and if they are found to be exceeding the limits, they'll be charged. And this charging is, as I said, it's not targeted. We are not harassing anybody. We are looking at protecting the road asset and protecting the safety of all road users, all of them. Because, you know, when you have a crash on a road, it's not only you. Even the other third parties are involved. So our interest is for the safety of the general public.
Madam Dorothy, I'm looking at what engineer and also what Mr. Samuel said in regards to reckless driving, you know, and there are some highways which are very notorious for that. I'm quite sure at the NPS you keep your eyes very, very, very peeled for that. Which highways are we looking at that police will have heightened surveillance in terms of reckless driving? And what message can you tell anyone who wants to drink something and be on the road?
Thank you so much. All our major highways will be covered, especially those leading from the city, talk of Nairobi to Busia, Nairobi to Malaba, Nairobi to Namanga, either Nairobi to Mombasa, to Nyeri, to Nakuru. All our major highways, we shall put traffic checks in points. And in those traffic checks, we are also encouraging our members of public to assist the police, because matters of security cannot be left to police alone. It is a collective responsibility of all Kenyans and all residents who are within our country. Because I've seen instances where when we put a police check at a certain road, you'll find that the road users tend to divert and go through maybe estates to make sure they escape. Yeah. And you find passengers are seated, knowing very well a driver who is evading a police check, it actually means there is something wrong, either with the driver or with the vehicle. So we are calling upon the members of public also to assist the police and other government agencies in ensuring that our roads are very safe. On our traffic checks, what we shall be observing, we shall be looking at the roadworthiness of those vehicles. We shall be looking at the capacity, because during this time, there are so many people who are traveling, and some of the drivers might have that tendency of overloading the vehicles so that they can have that advantage of carrying more people so that they can cash on it. And also we have vehicles that are maybe meant for personal use, and you'll find that there are people who are supposed to be maybe traveling with family members, but they tend to convert the personal vehicles to public transport vehicles. So during our checks, those are the things that we shall be looking at. We shall also be employing the speed checks, because the
speed governors.
Yes, the speed governors. So we shall employ the speed guns so that we can check and ensure that people travel as per the speed that is designated as per the road areas. We'll also be employing the alcohol blow check tests, so that we ensure that our drivers are fit to drive. They are not driving under the influence of alcohol. We shall also be looking at the contents that the vehicles are carrying, because now that we have people who have a tendency, some people have tendencies of carrying things, maybe the drugs or any other illegal materials during this season. So those are some of the things that we shall be checking. And now that we are working closely with the judiciary, the time that we don't expect the people to be inconvenienced to reach the destination, but with the collaboration with the judiciary, then they can be taken through the justice system so that they can pay their fines and then also proceed to their destination. With the collaboration with the judiciary, it will also help us to curb on issues of corruption, because sometimes the drivers tend to feel the process might take long when you issue them with the notices to attend court on a later date. So with the coming of the judiciary, we'll be able to ensure that there is that instant justice at that point so that people can proceed. Apart from the roads, we have also planned for security in our major towns. We have intensified patrols, both on foot and vehicles. And also we have the air surveillance from the police air wing. We also have officers who will be in uniform, and we'll also employ officers who are in civilian. Because sometimes criminals tend to evade. When they see a uniform officer, they'll be able maybe to check the route the officer is taking. So with employing the non-uniformed officers, we'll be able also to corner those who might be maybe surveilling on our officers. Thank you.
Yeah, and Madam Dorothy has raised a very good concern in regards to also our role as, as Abiria, as passengers, you'll find that the vehicle that you're in already is taking shortcuts so that it may evade any police capture because it's unroadworthy. So I want to ask you, Bwana Musumba, what role does vehicle inspection play, and especially now during this festive season, and how strict will NTSA be in terms of enforcement of this?
Now, all vehicles doing public service transport and commercial, by law, they're supposed to have undergone that annual inspection. Now, the whole idea behind inspection is that just want to ensure your vehicle is roadworthy. It's not about anything else. The other mechanical issues in terms of your services and all that, that you can still do depending on really your needs. But for us, that vehicle must be within the standards of complying with the roadworthiness. And so we issued quite a very early statement this year and said, as we plan for the festive seasons and they had the high peak seasons, please bring your vehicles for inspection. We even actually did a free clinic just to check on your vehicle. And we asked the operators, bring your vehicles at Green Park here for the Nairobians. Quite a number of them really came up. And so we are really keen to see that that is also on the road. Which vehicle are you putting on the road? Did it go through that inspection? And these days we don't have those stickers that we used to have Kitambo where you would stick there that this vehicle is inspected. These are online processes. So we're able to check with our colleagues from the National Police Service. We just check in the system. Did you inspect this vehicle? What is the record like? Then we're able to take up action for such vehicles. But of course, we aren't ruling out the fact that there will be vehicles that sneak in. You know, it's the time that even those dead vehicles now start coming up. They resurrect because of the demand that is there. So you'll see people resurrecting some funny vehicles now coming on the road. Those ones that keep hiding throughout our operations, now they'll start finding their way out. But as my colleague from NPS has said, we are so keen on that. Very, very keen, more than ever. We likely know and be able to detect, such vehicles. Some even physically, just look at them and realize this vehicle is not really supposed to be on the road. So we are really keen on each and everything. Now for private vehicles, of course, we don't inspect them, but we have a proposal in the new laws coming up that even the private vehicles now will be inspected moving forward. Because some of them, you look at them, you realize they have issues. A spot check on this highway, just the other day we were doing a patrol in the day, and you find very many private vehicles actually stuck somewhere. Somebody has opened a bonnet, gari imechemuka. Then you ask this driver, really, at what point does the gari chemuka? It means you have not serviced this vehicle. You have never maybe gone with this vehicle longer distances. Now is the time you want to bring it up to go for long distance. You have not prepared yourself. How did you plan for this? So again, it's an area that we are looking at and saying, in future now we need to check on this. But even before that, we are asking motorists, please check on your vehicle before you leave. Just plan your journey, And journey planning starts from your house, everything else that you want to move with on that particular road. So ensure everything is in order before you move, so you don't find yourself in gari kuchamuka problems, on that road. So we are really careful on that for public service vehicles, for commercial vehicles. That one is a must. You cannot do without inspection.
Engineer Kato, let's look at black spots and also guardrails, because I give a practical example. I'll be using the Nairobi Meru highway, which has some scary corners and some black spots. But I know those black spots. So some people will decide to come and visit those areas. They do not know about these black spots, and some guardrails in some places are not quite, the last time I checked, they were not quite to standard, because some have been, and after the demonstration, some were pulled out by some youths. So how have you prepared for that this season, and how are you sensitizing Kenyans, and especially those who do not know that indeed there is a black spot somewhere? in Gikuri. There's a black spot somewhere on your road from Chuka to Meru. There's also 2 or 3 black spots as well.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Maybe I'll start by helping people understand the term that you have used, black spot.
Yeah.
Black spot basically came from statistics, whereby you had a map. When you have a crash, you mark it. So the more the marks, and the ink was marks, black. So the more the marks you had there, the bigger the
more the circle, yes. The black circle.
Yeah, so the black circle became bigger. That is how it basically originated, the black spot. But basically we all understand what black spot means. This is a place that has frequent road crashes. Another thing maybe I would also want to say is we make use of the term crashes, and TSA will agree with me, road traffic crashes instead of accidents. Because, you know, an accident makes you think that maybe it was nobody's fault. Not that we are apportioning blame, but something which is preventable, you are supposed to take action to prevent it. So we call them road crashes. So black spots, as you have said, are places which in the past there have been frequent crashes, and they have been identified historically. So what we generally do, usually we have road safety audits that happen, and this one is not done by individuals, it is done by multi-sectoral approach. We have NTSA as the lead, we have NPS and even other stakeholders come in. We look at the road. This is pre-planned. We usually look at our entire network. But in a case whereby you would have a recurrence of crashes, then we will target that particular place, go and do an audit of the road infrastructure, identify exactly what would have been the issue. Once you've known the issue, you know, there's also the aspect of the investment that you have to now come in and get the work actually done. So before the bigger investments, like for example, Nithi Bridge, after the audit, it has been found that the bridge as it is a hazard. So it needs to be completely redesigned, replaced. But that's not something you can do in a day. So what can you do?
But plans
now?
Are underway for the Nithi Bridge. It gives us scares. It's still now. It's been over 40 years I've been using it.
Yes, plans are underway to have it improved. Generally, the whole the alignment and everything will be improved there. So once we have done the audits and identified the issues, and we know the ultimate solution, maybe that's in the long term. We can also have in the medium term and in the short term. I think the first thing we'll do, first of all, is to sensitize people so that they are aware that this place, for some reason, has a recurrence of crashes. So when you approach the place, please be more alert, be more cautious, and also drive slowly. Because, you know, speed has a very big impact on the severity of a crash. So if you slow down, then the severity will also reduce. So we do that sensitization. We place the signages. We also come up with speed calming measures. Basically, this would entail rumble strips and bumps so that the vehicles slow down. I'm sure you've also seen some of those scary signs along our networks, whereby they tell you this place is a black spot.
And then you put a mangled car up there.
It is not, okay, the government does these things, but maybe it may not be ideal, but it works. So if it works, then why not? So basically, it's an issue of bringing awareness. As you said, you know about that place. So when you approach, you slow down. But someone who is new, when he sees the signages, he will slow down and the bumps and everything, and then he should be able to maneuver through the place safely. Then in the long term, once the budgeting has been done and the resources are available, the proposed improvements are done. I'm sure there are so many that have been done. I think one example is the one at Sachangwan, whereby there used to be so many crashes. I remember there was one time before we went to do the road safety audit, which I was involved in, there were crashes from 1st to 31st, every single day.
Every single day?
Yes. We went, did the audit, and the recommendation was we do a dueling for the entire section and have a barrier in between. It was done, and it was a big success.
Yeah, Sachangwan has
immediately
really
after it was done, the crashes completely stopped. Of course, they can't be totally zero, but the frequency really went down. So with the resources provided, once we have recommendations, we implement. We improve the road. So that is how we deal with those black spots. Yes.
That was very insightful, and of course we are hoping that we'll see more of those mangled cars, because they just kind of creates, you know, some fear, some kind of fear. And I'm also talking about creating some kind of fear that you know, reckless drivers will really know, they know this is serious. I'm looking at driver fatigue. You know, you might not be drunk, you might not be a reckless driver, but when it comes to fatigue, fatigue is also something that kills. And there were proposals that at least, and I heard Martha Comey yesterday, the CJ, talk about the drivers should not do more than 8 hours, and the police will have to enforce that. How exactly will you be able to, because it's more or less like a gray area, because how will you know somebody has been working for the last 8 years, or has been driving for the last eight hours? That person is not drunk, is not driving recklessly, but unfortunately that person is fatigued. But there's no way, there's no meter to know exactly this person has been on the wheel for 8 hours. How can we circumvent that challenge, madam?
We are calling upon the members of public through we have the circles that these buses or matatus are operating on. So we are encouraging the matatu or the circles to ensure that they comply with the regulations that have already been put in place, so that they ensure that those drivers who drive long distances, talk about from Western maybe to Mombasa, at least they should have 2 drivers on board, so that the drivers can interchange throughout the journey, so that one driver does not drive more than 8 hours. And also we have buses or matatus who do return trips. We are encouraging the SACCO management also to assist the police in enforcing this. Yes.
And NTSA, we have the National Police Service and we have KENHA. What other partners are you partnering with in terms of the road safety? Because all eyes will be at NTSA in regards to the road safety, but your other partners and players that are also working hand in hand with you guys. Yeah, a couple of partners, but maybe before I just answer that, I would weigh in on the fatigue issue, just a little bit. And really, it's a killer. In fact, it's worse than alcohol. Because if you have not had enough sleep and you're on that road, that micro sleep just takes you seconds. Close your eyes and you're off into the ditch. Many times you find drivers who are involved in those kind of incidents that they can't even tell you what happened, you know. So really, we're encouraging the transporters, at least, which is within the law, that you must have the 2 drivers. The challenge we have had with some of the operators is to put the 2 drivers on board, right? And then now this second driver, do you know what he does? Because all the seats are occupied. So this guy actually sleeps on the aisle. So you ask yourself, is he comfortable? Is he sleeping? You know, today, Ben, I mean, if you are put on the aisle on a small mattress, it's as thin as this. I've seen some of the buses. It's as thin as this. Would you be saying you are sleeping? So again, it compounds the problem. That this guy in fact is also fatigued because he's not even sleeping. So what my colleague has said, we're encouraging that you could place this driver at the other side. So if it's a return trip, for example, one driver takes
the vehicle to the other side, if it's, for example, Western Kenya, then your second driver actually picks it, you know, to this end.
That's better, and as opposed to the two drivers.
Exactly, just sit. This guy does not sleep, honestly. He's literally awake.
Yeah.
And you know, that even adds to the problem. So we are really encouraging these transporters that plan this well. The law says this, but there's a better way of also doing it. How about, for example, there are stopovers also. Those stopovers will allow your driver to actually take a bit of rest. It's 8 hours, but within those 8 hours, this guy is supposed to rest for an hour. Those are 60 minutes. How can you do that? Within 8 hours, if I do, say, 20 minutes of rest or 15 minutes of rest, pull aside that bus, whatever it is, the time you tell abiria, sasa watu wajisaidie or something like that, you also come out of the bus, take a bit of your rest, water, whatever it is, walk around, and then move to the next destination. So it's just a matter of really planning yourselves to manage, you know, fatigue. But also now for the private, you know, drivers, they also go through the same. And we're just asking you, good Kenyans, that we're also planning your journey very well. Where does fatigue start from? Sometimes fatigue does not start on that road. Actually, fatigue starts from your bedroom. How many hours have you slept as you're waiting to travel tomorrow? You've done only 2 hours. You still have...
You had a party in the office or have friends and you're living in the morning.
And even in the house, you did not seem to settle down to sleep. Then you hit the road in the morning. What happens? You end up in those problems. So take enough rest as you plan for this journey. There'll be jumps on this road, so just take a bit of your time to do that. Now, coming to what you had asked, we partner with so many people, the private sector, other government agencies, of course, all of them, even individuals. Because one of the things that we have learned from our experience is road safety is a shared responsibility. No one single agency can manage this problem. It's so big. And you've had us, the three of us here, each talking about what we are doing, but we can't exhaust all that. You know, he's looking at roads, she's looking at enforcement and security, we're also looking at all that, but we can't manage all that. We require all hands on deck. And that's why now we're working with almost everyone. This time in our plan, you'll be surprised that we invited the speed governor providers. They're the guys who fit these speed governors. So as we are there enforcing with our colleagues, then we find you speeding, then we check on the system, actually it's not transmitting data, for example. So the question has been, who do you blame? But many times, who do we blame? We actually remove the number plate, for example. We make sure that we take you to court and all that. But do these guys also have a role? Yes. Is it working? Because this speed governor is supposed to transmit data to us, to the transporter, and to the dealer who fitted it. So if there's that discrepancy, then all of us have to be accountable here. So we are with them on the roads and saying, we stop vehicle X, and we say, this is fitted by, say, Omata, for example. Where's the dealer? Come here. Look at the transmission. If there are any discrepancies, then you also held accountable. What did you fit? What did you give, you know, this transporter? So that we hold each other accountable. And that is the spirit of really collaboration, the partnership that we are working with many other people. Yeah.
And allow me to come back to Madam Dorothy, because at the end of the day, because we are running out of time, I'm looking at also the police service using intelligence and also community policing in regards to security of our homes as well. Because during the festive season, we've also seen increased cases of theft and thuggery.
Yes, in police, we are leveraging on issues of community policing, where we encourage the members of the public to participate in securing their communities. We are also leveraging on the Nyumba Kumi. We are also leveraging on the Ngao network, where we have the chiefs, the assistant chiefs, the assistant county commissioners, the deputy county commissioners, so that the members of the public can liaise with all the security agencies within their areas, so that they can assist us in getting information how we can assist them in enforcing the law. At the same time, we also have our toll-free numbers, where we encourage the members of public to call and share information what they can see. And we also have anonymous numbers, WhatsApp number for the DCI, where you can also report through the WhatsApp number, which I'll share when it comes to that time. So we encourage the members of the public to be aware of their environment at every point. Don't just sit somewhere relaxed. Make sure you are aware of the environment. Make sure you understand in your neighborhood what is going on in your neighborhood. And we also encourage them so that they can share the information with officers, whether they are in uniform or in civilian, whether they are on duty within that area. Because once you share the information with the police officers on the ground, they'll be able to escalate the same so that they can be assisted. And also, criminals take advantage where there is a disorganization. So we encourage members of the public to make sure they collaborate within their communities so that they can make the environment more safe, and also they harden. Sometimes people just wake up and go without caring to close their doors, maybe to employ watchmen to watch over their houses when they are away. So we encourage them so that they can leverage on the communal partnership with the police, the local police, so that we can make sure that people celebrate in a more peaceful and safe environment.
Engineer, looking at if there are any projects that KENHA is undertaking that can ease traffic as opposed to last year, can ease the Christmas and festivity jams that we usually see, and will you increase the patrols? We've seen KENHA double cabins, and pickups and vehicles trying to check out what's happening on our roads. Will those be increased as well?
Yes, thank you very much. As said earlier, we are liaising with the other agencies, so we are going to provide support, especially to the police whom we are already working with. We will definitely, we are not going on leave, as the NPS have said, on issues especially on axle load and patrolling of the roads. Our people will be on the roads, we will be patrolling. In fact, we also have plans. We are going to make use of technology, and we'll make use of drones to do an overflight.
Technology, yeah?
Yes, over the roads, so that we are basically able to see where we have challenges and liaise with the NPS for enforcement. Also, any persons who will be found to be contravening the laws and they are captured on the drones, they will find the next roadblock they are being waited for, and most likely with the judiciary also in play, immediately they are caught, they are taken to court and fined. So we are going to be very much on the road, and we'll try to make sure that we facilitate the police to do their job properly. Yeah.
Yes, and also to remind our viewers is that the responsibility on the roads is between me and you as well, and also it's our responsibility. You hear the KENHA talking about eye in the sky. They'll be having drones to try and make our roads a little bit more safer. But talking about eyes, we also have our eyes on the road. You have your workers at KENHA, National Police Service, and NTSA. But let's be very honest, some of these road crashes from accidents, road crashes, are caused because of corruption in our roads, both by officials from everywhere, from the drivers to maybe officials of the National Police Service, NTSA, and even KENHA themselves. Let's not pretend that we have sacred cows. So how, guys, are we ready to ensure that we deal with this menace once and for all? Musumba?
Yeah, it's just a bad culture, I would say.
I think.
The giver, the taker,
yes.
I mean, it's just bad manners. And it even hurts that you would give me 100 shillings or whatever amount of money you give me, then the next stop I hear you've crashed.
Yeah.
That guilt will never leave me. And I can't deny that we have officers who still do this. It's a human beings sometimes. But the consequences for some of the officers, and my colleagues will attest to that, have been dire. People have lost jobs. People have gone to court. So it's not easy as people may think. This time, from the meeting that we held yesterday, the NCAJ meeting, which brought all of us together, ESCC is also on board now. The officers from ESCC are also on board. So what does that mean? That us who have been quick at taking and giving, watch out, you know, chuma chetu kiko motoni. That's what the Swahili say. Yeah. And of course, ESCC guys will always come unnoticed. Then civilian, you may never know. So they'll be at those way bridges, they'll be at our roadblocks, they'll be on these roads. So really caution to all of us that those of us who have been doing this, this is not time. In fact, there should be no any other time that you should do this. Because when you are caught, we will simply hand you over to the right people to deal with you. So why would you lose your job? Why would you be taken to court just because of 100 shillings or 20 shillings or whatever amount of money that you are getting? I think the honor is in all of us that we are against this. And also just consider the consequences of doing that. I'm taking that, and then that vehicle goes, crashes and kills people. How do you feel? You know, it's really a moral responsibility for all of us. So the punishment this time around is going to be, you know, worse than people would think. Both the giver and the taker. It's going to be very serious.
It's a good thing that you shared that thought with even other stakeholders, including the judiciary as well.
Absolutely.
But let's hear from Madam Dorothy what the National Police Service has also lined up in regards to those officers who decide to take an extra coin just to, you know, have something at the end of the day and end up crashing, just like Musumba is talking about.
Thank you so much. The Inspector General has put up a good strategy to fight corruption in the National Police. As recently you saw, we had ESCC doing a search on police operations where there is a possibility of corruption in our police service points. And there was a report that was given out, and several strategies were laid to help us to fight corruption in the police. Actually, corruption is an immoral thing that should not be encouraged at any point. So we encourage our officers to remain vigilant on our roads, so that those who will be caught maybe receiving the bribes will be taken all through the justice system, and action will be taken. We have seen so many officers that have been taken through and they have lost their jobs. There are those whose properties have been forfeited to the government. So it is a warning to officers that this is a time that we should be enabling our members of public to attend to the festive season without any interruption. And anybody who will be tempted to be corrupt on the road, then they should be warned that dire consequences will follow the suit.
Kenya is not left behind. You know, you find some officers decide to just let a vehicle go, and we know very well that the axle load on that vehicle is over the limit.
Yes, my colleagues here have been very clear on what happens, the consequences. It's a question of when you are found, because you know human beings are quite smart, might not really be found, but when you are found, the consequences are very dire. So we in our operations we tried and made sure that on our way bridges we have totally automated and reduced the influence of the input of the human being. So this the automation process makes sure that everything is captured, everything is recorded. Even our teams which are out there in the field interacting with Wananchi, they have telematics. So they have video coverage and audio recordings live. So we try as much as possible to minimize the opportunity for having integrity issues. Over and above that, we also do a lot of sensitization for our staff so that they know the need for integrity and the consequences, because the consequences, as said, you will go home and
it's a good thing that I'm gonna say it again. The moment that Chief Justice Martha Koome also stood out and said that this year we're gonna do things differently, I think that also gives confidence to Kenyans that indeed we are all prepared to do. You are prepared to do your part, we are prepared to do our part as well. And because of the interest of time, in 10 seconds, what is the most important message that you want to issue in regards to safety of Kenyans this season, both on our roads and also in our homes?
On behalf of the National Police Service, I want to ensure the public that we are going to ensure that they enjoy their Christmas festive season without any fear of insecurity. And we are also encouraging the members of public to pass information to us through our toll-free numbers. And I'll give number 1 is through 911. You can call through 911, and also you can call through 999. You can also call through 112, and you can also send a message through Fichua kwa DCI on phone number 0800-722-03, and also you can WhatsApp anonymous message to DCI through the phone number 0709-570000. We are going to ensure that you enjoy your Christmas festive season without fear of any crime.
My director just whispered in my ear that he has granted us about 5-10 minutes extra, so I think we're going to continue with this. And I want to come back to you, Musumba, and the campaigns that you have done, both on radio, on television. We have stickers on Matatu, Zusha, you know, Koa Maisha. We have seen those campaigns. What else are you doing this time round? I haven't seen anything on Channel 1 or even had anything on radio. But what campaigns do you have in regards to road safety over this festive season?
Yeah, alongside the one that we had in the year, which was under the Usalama Barabarani program.
Yeah, and the EU.
The EU, yes. We really did a lot of that to the Boda guys and all that. So this season, what we are doing is really engaging now the passengers at the bus parks, just at the point of departures. Quite a number of officers are there to just remind us that this is what you're supposed to do. Hey, belt up. Don't board this vehicle which is already overloaded. You know, report incidences should you see a driver, you know, and all that. So all those are things that we're just reminding them now as people prepare to leave. For the drivers, we're also engaging them at those points and just engaging them a little bit on that. I know we have not come loud on media yet, but basically that is now what we are doing. Even at those roadblocks where you guys are stopped, part of the discussions also around there as they await clearance, we again, you know, speaking to passengers at that point is how was your journey, how is it, and all that. So it's just a reminder of doing the right thing, a reminder of your safety matters, a reminder that you are a driver, the safety of these people is actually in your hands, you know, and all that. So it is it's part of the engagement, it's part of the awareness that we are creating, and we are also happy with this kind of platforms that we are also engaging. Social media platforms, we are also still engaging the public. As you go, please do this, do that, don't do this.
All right.
Yeah.
Final word.
Okay, thank you very much. Final word to our viewers today. First of all, I would wish to ask everybody that will be traveling during these festivities to plan their journeys well. Make sure that they are well rested so that we avoid the issues of fatigue that we have discussed, which are serious killers on our roads. We avoid any kinds of influence, alcohol and whatnot. Make sure we are totally at our peak as we are driving. Also, we avoid overloading and we be patient on the road. So that I am sure, because everybody will be traveling on the same day. Let's just be patient. If there are queues, let's avoid overlapping. We will all get there. And finally, on behalf of Kenya National Highways Authority, I would wish everybody safe travels and happy holidays.
All right. Indeed, we have been having a very candid conversation in regards to the festive season, both security in our homes and on the roads, and the safety measures that 3 agencies that I have here, representatives on each and every one of them. Samuel Musumba, who is the Manager Road Safety Programs at the National Transport Safety Authority, Engineer Mawazo Kato, Axle Load Control Senior Engineer at Kenha. And in the middle, we have Dorothy Migarusha, who is the Deputy Director, Corporate Communications at the National Police Service. Many thanks indeed for joining us. I'm Bentro Njue. Lucy Mwaura is our sign language interpreter. But I'm crossing you over to the Safari Park Hotel, where we have the Kenya Economic Report. Do have yourself a blessed afternoon.
Of wonderful collaboration between the Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, UNICEF, the University of Nairobi, and the World Bank. We at the World Bank are delighted to partner with you on these type of research. And I want to thank all the institutions involved for their dedication, expertise, and commitment to advancing evidence-based policy making in Kenya. Asantani sana. Kenya stands, in my view, at a pivotal moment where the challenge is not just sustaining growth, but ensuring that the benefits of that growth are shared widely. As you know well, the Kenya Vision 2030 prioritizes equity and shared prosperity, and I believe fiscal policy is central to achieving these goals. The Poverty and Distributional Impacts of Fiscal Policy report provides timely evidence on how taxes and public spending shape income distribution, poverty, and inequality, and highlighting who gains and who bears the burden across regions, genders, and generations. While Kenya's economy has shown remarkable resilience, underlying fiscal pressures and persistent disparities unfortunately remain. With limited fiscal space, rising expectations and demand for essential services, and uneven inclusivity in economic growth, there is, in my view, an urgent need for more efficient and equitable fiscal policy. The choices we make today will determine whether growth leads to better jobs, higher incomes, and real opportunities for all Kenyans. And I think the insights from this analysis are essential to as the country strives for a more inclusive future. And as you have just heard earlier this morning from the excellent presentation by Mr. Monga, Kenya's fiscal policies are effective at narrowing income gaps, mainly because public spending on education and health reaches broader segments of society. However, you've also heard that when it comes to poverty, the story is much, much more complex. Taxes, especially indirect ones, often fall more heavily on the poor, and the benefits from cash transfers are not sufficient or enough to offset these burdens. As a result, overall poverty increases despite the significant gains in equality. And you also heard that female-headed households benefit more from in-kind education transfers, but they still face higher poverty rates. And the reason is because that caregiving responsibilities and limited access to resources mean that even when fiscal policy helps close income gaps, the most disadvantaged families may not see real improvements in their daily lives. For children, I think the picture is even clearer. While fiscal measures help reduce inequality among children, the poorest still miss out on essential services such as health benefits. As a result, child poverty rises even as the gap between the rich and poor children narrows. I think the report offers many practical insights into how fiscal policy can become a more effective tool for reducing poverty and inequality in Kenya. It highlights the need to strategically expand cash transfer programs, both in terms of coverage and benefit levels, given their proven cost effectiveness in reducing poverty and inequality compared to untargeted subsidies. In a challenging fiscal environment, the report emphasizes that any expansion in social protection must be paired with strategic and equitable revenue mobilization that safeguards vulnerable groups, including women, children, and high poverty regions. For example, reallocating or redesigning inefficient subsidy, including, for example, the fertilizer subsidy, which often benefits wealthier households, can free up fiscal space for investments that have greater impact. Targeted reforms to value-added tax can also raise additional revenue without harming the welfare of the poor. Alongside these measures, broadening the tax base, removing structural barriers such as user fees and birth certification costs, for example, and investing in education and health, especially in underserved areas, are critical steps. For me, I think most importantly, the report reminds us that fiscal policy alone cannot deliver equitable and resilient growth, especially under very tight budget constraints. Stronger redistribution must go hand in hand with higher, sustained, and inclusive economic growth and job creation to build a more prosperous future for all Kenyans. Indeed, I would argue more, better, and more inclusive jobs are the most sustainable means to reduce poverty and promote shared prosperity among all Kenyans. As Kenya's long-term development partner, the World Bank is fully committed to supporting Kenya, to support Kenya's journey towards a more inclusive, equitable, and prosperous society. We believe that smart fiscal, governance, and structural reforms can unlock debt sustainability, drive productivity growth, and create more, better, and more inclusive jobs. And we will continue to work side by side with the government and all partners to advance evidence-based reforms that can deliver true, tangible benefits for all Kenyans. Together, we can make fiscal policy a powerful engine for reducing poverty and inequality, and to realize the promise of Vision 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you. Asantani sana.
Thank you. Next we have UNICEF.
Honorable CPA John Badi, Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning, Dr. Boniface Makoka, Principal Secretary, State Department for Economic Planning, Professor Paul Wachana, Board Person, KIPRA, Board Chairperson, KIPRA, Dr. Helda Onsumu, Executive Director, KIPRA, Dr. MacDonald Obudo, Director General, KNBS, Mr. Chimaufan, World Bank Director, development partners, members of civil society, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jumbo. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to join you all today for this pivotal moment as we come together to launch the report on poverty and distributional impacts of fiscal policy in Kenya, a commitment to equity assessment with extensions to gender and children. This report provides a clear picture of how Kenya's taxes and public spending impact lives, especially children and families most in need. It goes beyond numbers and charts. It gives us a powerful lens to understand the real stories behind policies, showing us where we are making a difference and where we must do more. The purpose of research like this is to show how public resources affect people's lives and, most importantly, to guide us in providing better support to the most vulnerable, especially our children and our future. Ladies and gentlemen, children makes up 41.3% of Kenya's population, about 22 million children. This means that children are not only the largest demographic group in Kenya, they are also at the very heart of this country's future. Yet, 1 in 3 children in Kenya experiences poverty, both in monetary terms and in terms of access to basic services. These children live in families that are deprived of income and also lack essential opportunities such as education, healthcare, nutrition, and protection, which are the foundations of a dignified future. At UNICEF, we remain committed to partnering with the government of Kenya in delivering on its ambition to ensure that no child is left behind. Central to this ambition is the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which places households, especially vulnerable families, at the center of national development. Through BITA's focus on job creation, agricultural transformation, micro, small, and medium enterprises support, universal health coverage, social protection, and education reforms, the government has laid out a clear vision for reducing poverty and expanding opportunities for all. Ladies and gentlemen, let me acknowledge the significant progress Kenya has made. This new report on poverty and distributional impacts of fiscal policy shows that the country's social assistance programs are making a difference to children in Kenya. They reach the poor and the vulnerable. They are effective in directing support to precisely the households who need it most. The Kenyan government's investment in free primary education means more than 10 million children are enrolled in primary school. This has narrowed the gap between the rich and the poor, giving more children a chance for a better future. Spending on public health has made it easier for low-income families to get medical care. More children are now able to see a doctor or nurse when they need to. These are major strengths and a powerful foundation for fiscal reform. But despite the progress, our children still face major barriers. The analysis reveals a sobering reality. While the fiscal system reduces inequality, it simultaneously increases poverty. This is because the poverty-increasing impact of taxes, particularly VAT, on basic goods outweighs the poverty-reducing impact of other transfers in primary sectors such as health, education, and social assistance through Inua Jamii cash transfers. In simple terms, while the system narrows the gap between the rich and the poor, it also pushes some families deeper into hardship. Kenya's cash transfer programs remain among the most effective tools for reducing poverty, strengthening human capital, and protecting vulnerable children. The cash transfer for orphans and vulnerable children, and the nutrition improvement through cash and health education programs provide income support to households with children living in poverty, along with nutrition and parenting counseling, making them highly impactful as evidence has shown us. Yet, coverage remains far too limited to meet the scale of need or achieve large-scale, transformative reductions in poverty. Expanding coverage, particularly for children in their early years, is essential for building human capital and driving productivity across the economy. The report also shows that government spending on health does benefit more poor children, but not the poorest of the poor. Many children facing the greatest deprivation still miss out on critical care. It also shows the power of making education accessible to families despite income level. Ladies and gentlemen, the report does provide a clear path forward. With the right policies, Kenya can dramatically reduce child poverty by expanding social protection and making health and education more accessible. For families in rural and ASAL counties or persons with disability, expanding Inua Jamii would not only help children stay in school, eat better, and access medical care when needed, it would also make health and education investments more effective. By preventing malnutrition and reducing school dropouts caused by income insecurity, social protection ensures these sectors deliver lasting impacts. Distinguished guests, the evidence in this report points to 3 urgent priorities. 1, prioritize social protection as a vital complement to health and education. Expanding coverage to reach the extremely poor can significantly reduce poverty. Scaling up Inua Jamii programs such as NICH and CTOVC could be a game changer for the most vulnerable families. Social protection not only reduces families' out-of-pocket health expenses and makes education more accessible, but also ensures these sectors deliver better outcomes by preventing malnutrition and reducing school dropouts. It provides a critical cushion when climate shocks hit, building resilience so families can withstand future shocks. 2, strengthen gender-responsive fiscal measures. Children's well-being is inseparable from the well-being of their caregivers. Fiscal policies that ease the burden on mothers, such as subsidized childcare, improve maternal health access, and support for women in the informal sectors, workforce, not only improve child outcomes and family well-being, but also expand the economy. When women can participate more actively in the economy, household incomes grow and communities thrive. And finally, use fiscal policy to break intergenerational cycles of poverty. Children who begin life with poor health, inadequate nutrition, and limited learning opportunities face lifelong disadvantages. Well-designed fiscal policies can stop the cycle of poverty for many families by preventing the intergenerational transmission of deprivation. These policies are not just about fairness. They are strategic investments that expand the economy, strengthen resilience, and drive long-term national development. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to the government of Kenya, including the State Department of Planning at the National Treasury, for its collaboration in this important effort. We also recognize the technical leadership of the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics and the Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis, supported by our partners, the African Center of Excellence for Inequality Research, the World Bank. This partnership has made this work not only possible, but also robust, credible, and actionable. We also thank the financing support from development partners, the UK government, and the Swedish International Development Cooperation agencies. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya has already laid a strong foundation. With bold fiscal reforms, we can ensure that every person, every child in Kenya grows up to be healthy, educated, protected, and full of potential. UNICEF stands ready to support the government of Kenya in taking forward these recommendations. Reducing poverty is not just a policy choice. It's a moral imperative, an economic necessity, and a commitment for future generations. Together, let us build a future where no child is left behind. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, the DG and Sibide.
our CS, CPA John Mbadi, the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, our PS, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Economic Planning, Dr. Boniface Makoha, the Chair of KIBRA, Professor Paul Wachana, the board members of KIBRA, President DG and KNBS, my friend, Dr. Director General KNBS, Kimia Fan, the Division Director, World Bank, and Shahin Nifla, the County Representative, UNICEF. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mine is just brief. I was not really prepared to speak at this podium this morning, but I want to thank the CEO of KIBRA, ED, Dr. Ari, for the invitation. I'm the Director General for the National Council for Population and Development. We are sister organizations to KIBRA and to KNBS, and we work very closely. We pick where KIBRA and KNBS stop. We will use this report for further analysis and policy briefs to advise the government on population matters. Our CS, our country today, we are talking about a population of more than 50 million. It has more than quadrupled since we got independence. I think Kenya today is facing key challenges is that, and I know this is the commitment we have made, is that we are at the crossroad. Kenya is a place where it has to harness its demographic dividend. We have moved from a child-based population. We are currently a very youthful population, and we're at a stage where we call it we have to take off. And we don't harness this time, the next 30 years, then Kenya will be in trouble. So that's why really we have to do heavy lifting for the next 30 years. And that's why the National Council for Population and Development is focused currently is on quality population, and these two reports on economic, the report on economic report and the fiscal will be very vital for us really to advise the government. Mine is to congratulate KIBRA, board members, the CEO and the chair for really giving us this report religiously every year, because we use this report to prepare our reports. I want to take this opportunity again to thank you for the invite. Mungu awabariki. Asanteni sana.
Next, we have the Director General, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics.
Thank you so much, Madam ED, for the chance, and our chief guest, the FCPA, Honorable John Buddy, who is the CS, the National Treasury, my PS in charge of State Department for Economic Planning, Dr. Boniface Makoha, and allow me to ride on the protocol that has already been established because of time. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, colleagues. I've cut on that time just to say hi to you. And I'll choose just carefully what to mention here. I know presentations have been done. And our chief guest, speaking to the report that has been given on the Kenya fiscal incidence analysis, the main objective, we wanted to look at what it is if, when we talk of poverty and the inequality, then look at the element of taxes, how they are applied, and to what extent they are affecting the lives of Kenyans. So one of the key concerns and the questions that we had was how do taxes and public spending in Kenya redistribute income between the rich and the poor? Now that happens after we have gotten the poverty numbers, which I'll tell you how we do that. Then we look at the question on what is the impact of taxes and the public spending on poverty and inequality rates in Kenya. Then what fiscal reform options could enhance poverty and distributional outcomes. Then the other question is how do fiscal policy actions influence gender-based poverty and inequality? And last but not least is how does fiscal policy affect child welfare and inequality? So we looked at all this and then checked on what kind of data set we could use. And then from there, looked at who are the players. And our chief guest, one key thing that has been mentioned here is that this work has been done collaboratively with KIPRA, our sister organization, World Bank, UNICEF. We have University of Nairobi, and particularly the African Center of Excellence for Inequality Research, that is actually domiciled at the university. They are actually very good when it comes to dealing with matters of this kind. And beyond that, we also looked at other key institutions that are very important in this, because then data is required. And this is where we have the National Treasury, we have Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, the State Department for Social Protection, and then the county government. Now, we started the work from the data that was generated on poverty numbers. And in that case, we looked at the 2022 Kenya Continuous Household Survey Program, where we generated a lot of data. We get to understand that in Kenya, we normally get the poverty numbers from the Integrated Household Budget Survey, which we just do every 10 years. So we had one in 2005, 2006, then 2015, 2016. Then now, from that time up to now, we have not had new numbers. But then we decided that we come up with a strategy of bringing on board thematic areas, ensuring that data is generated on a yearly basis. And so we did one in 2019, 2020, 2021, and then lastly 2022. So the data for 2022 from the Continuous Household Survey Program is what we are using to deal with these subjects here, to respond to the questions that I've mentioned to you. And together with, this is done together with administrative data that is collected from different areas. So remember, one side we have the survey data, on the other side we have administrative data, and the administrative data generally are coming from public institutions, and that's why I've mentioned the Ministry of Health, I've mentioned the National Treasury, and several other players. Of course, KRA comes in. And so all these players now brought together has made it possible to have this work done. And we appreciate one thing, that it is expensive to collect data. And once collected, you want to see how best you'd use it in very many ways to get different indicators that we have not had before. And so that is the basis upon which we mined the data thoroughly to get us to this. So the next set of data that is going to give us the poverty numbers is the Kenya Integrated Household Budget Survey that is already ongoing. I think we are in the fourth, I'm not sure if we are in the fourth month or thereabout. Somewhere which month? We are in the fifth month. So we have 7 months to go to complete the data collection. It is a 1-year exercise where we collect data for a whole year. We want to touch on every month of a year, so that the element of seasonality is thoroughly taken care of when you talk of prices and the consumption patterns in the country, which then leads to many other things. So as we are getting to that, we now have, we had to mine this data to produce the results that we have. And on this, our chief guest, it is about looking at assessing the report on how taxes and public spending affect poverty, inequality, gender outcomes, and child welfare. And here we are using a framework called the Commitment to Equity. It is a framework that helps in redistributing the resources through taxation to get to see who are well placed and who are down when it comes to resources, and then how would taxes applied differently move something from here to the most vulnerable and see how that life is well taken care of. And so this is the process, and this is about what is coming out from this report. And if it is well utilized, then we'll be able to see how the inequality in terms of poverty could be reduced. So we have done that work just to ensure that the report would be able to inform fiscal policy choices, especially in context of tight fiscal space, where we also have the rising public debt and growing public pressure on for tax relief. And so it is something that will be able to really help us ensure that these findings, particularly very important when they provide clear evidence on how Kenyans' tax and public spending policies influence poverty and welfare, and whether the current fiscal system effectively supports the national goals on equity, inclusion, and shared prosperity. And this report, for the first time, we are now bringing on board the element of the welfare of children. And this is an area that UNICEF has come in very strongly to support us. Those are the points that I wanted to share, because I know our chief guest has very little time. And so just those key highlights that would be able to help us understand the report. And the good thing is that now we have the report available for all of us to utilize and ensure that we make our country better. Thank you so much.
Our chief guest, the Cabinet Secretary, the National Treasury, the Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis is delighted to welcome you, sir, to this event. Today, we are going to launch the Kenya Economic Report, which is a statutory report, which is in our mandate, and we produce it every year, and it's supposed to inform the economic performance of our economy. Today, we shall also be graduating 28 young professionals who have successfully concluded their Young Professionals Development Program. Every year, as we produce the Kenya Economic Report, we decide on the theme to focus on. This Kenya Economic Report we are launching today, we focused on the theme, creating decent jobs for prosperity. Sir, this is one of our priority areas in the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and also in the medium-term plan 4. The Kenya economy continues to demonstrate resilience, recording improvement in economic performance. The theme for this year has also given us evidence on where we are as we implement the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and the medium-term plan 2023-27. It is clear from our findings that the digital transformation in various sectors of our economy are going to create many, many jobs. For instance, in agriculture, we are bound to create over 177,000 new jobs through the digital transformation in our agricultural sector. It is also notable that the future for e-mobility is great. In this sector, we are bound to create over 334,000 jobs by 2030 as we invest in infrastructure, in petri processing, in recycling, and other sectors in this area of e-mobility. At the county level, the decent work index stands at 0.58. This signals progress and persistent interventions and their implications on our economy. However, the picture of informality, low wages, limited social protection, and also low participation of women in non-agricultural wage employment are key constraints that need to be tackled through strengthening social protection, trade, and workplace regulations to ensure that we promote job security, especially for the majority of our population who are working in the informal sector. The Kenya Economic Report 2025 demonstrates that achieving prosperity requires raising productivity, strengthening value chains, enhancing environment for private sector investments, and also ensuring that we have support from all the partners in implementing our national agenda. The second report that we are going to launch today, which is focusing on the poverty and the distributional impact of fiscal policy in Kenya, is a landmark also in the sense that it has used data that has not been used there before to measure the impact of our fiscal policies. This work has also been used to inform on how to go beyond traditional fiscal incidence analysis to incorporate gender and child-sensitive interventions. The report also gives us scope to go deeper into our methodologies of analysis, and as KIPRA, where we are already working on various products and our economic modeling department, we are glad, sir, that we are going to ensure that the methodologies we have used are going to be enhanced and are going to support the Institute in long-term work. To deliver on the capacity building mandate, the Institute has enhanced the scope of our capacity building programs, and this is where we have been able to train young professionals, and we shall be supporting also the staff under the Central Planning and Projects Monitoring Unit in the State Department for Economic Planning and the various ministries. And this will enhance our tools, knowledge sharing, and also ensure sustained development. The Institute has also invested in e-learning, proc-release approaches, and also in ensuring that as we train various economists, we sustain the program. And so far, we have trained over 333 young professionals whom we continue to track and also to monitor where they are working as a way of measuring the impact of our program. In this year's team that will be graduating, we are optimistic that this team has already transitioned to the labor market and will continue to support the overall agenda for development in our nation. In implementing the strategic plan for the Institute 2023-27, the Institute undertook impactful and responsive policy research, leveraging on various methodologies up to county level, and this is work that has enhanced our applied research capabilities and also enhanced the way we produce and impact the economy. In line with the engagement and also the mandate of our institute, this year 2025-26, we shall be working on strengthening value chains for inclusive growth in Kenya. This is work which will take us up to June 2026, and we are optimistic that we shall be able to contribute to the national development of our economy. Further, to enhance institutional efficiency, the Institute has implemented productivity measurements, strengthening our business continuity, our ICT security, our monitoring and evaluation, procurement, asset management, and also promoted various innovations that will go a long way to enhance our governance and also service delivery at the Institute. As I conclude, I'm grateful to the State Department for Economic Planning, which is under the National Treasury, and which is our parent State Department. We have collaborated in various activities among other partners who have spoken to us today. I also thank the National Treasury, the National Bureau of Statistics, the Kenya Revenue Authority, the Central Bank of Kenya, UNICEF, World Bank, among other institutions that not only gave input to the various products we are launching today, but also gave support in various dimensions. As an institute, we extend our special appreciation to the KIPRA board, who have continuously supported the research work at the institute, have supported various technical teams, and also supported the expertise development at the institute. It is now my great pleasure to invite the board chairperson to come and give his remarks. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, I'm taking it slow because the chief guest needs to be in the house of the asks that I think it's important for him to be in. The chief guest, Mheshimiwa John Mbati, who's the National Treasurer CS, Principal Secretary of State, Department for Economic Planning, Dr. Boniface Makoha, the KIPRA board members present, Mr. Benjamin Mayor, Representative, UNICEF, Mr. Fan Kwimaya, hope I got it right, World Bank Division Director, Executive Director KIPRA, Dr. Elton Somo, McDonald Obuto, Dr. Sheikh, the CEOs who are in the house, members of the media present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. I stand before you today with great pleasure as I welcome you all to this truly unique occasion. Today we celebrate not one, but 4 major milestones in Kenya's policy landscape. First is the launch of the Kenya Economic Report 2025. Second, the unveiling of the Kenya Fiscal Instance Report. Third is the commemoration and commemoration of KIPRA Day. And the most important one, the graduation of our 28 young professionals. Before I go any further, ladies and gentlemen, allow me at this point to introduce the members of the KIPRA board who have contributed eminently to this day. I am sincerely grateful to their contribution to the KIPRA family. Maybe my colleagues, the board members, you may stand. And since we've the CS in, I thought you are just supposed to wave, but knowing with former PSs, these guys, maybe you give them a microphone just to say their name. Please. But CS, this is one of the most powerful board you can ever come across this country, full of professionals, former peers, former what? Professors. Okay, thank you.
My name is Christine Wanjala, the Vice Chair of the board. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Olemusuni. I'm a member of the board.
And the former PS.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Monique Mukayagi, a member of the board. Thank you.
Fatuma Hussein, board member.
Good afternoon. Alois Ratemo, member of the board.
Timothy Gakuo, representing the PS in the board. Thank you.
Dr. Elda Onsom, the Executive Director and the Board Secretary. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. Today, we reflect on Kipro's core mandate, supporting Kenya's development through rigorous evidence, sound policy advice, and sustained investment in human capital. Holding these events together is deliberate. It underscores the strong linkage between policy research, fiscal and economic analysis, and capacity building, which are all essential pillars for achieving inclusive growth and shared prosperity under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and the fourth medium-term plan. Ladies and gentlemen, Kipra Day provides an opportunity to take stock of how work in public policy research and analysis, capacity building, and in policy advisory continues to respond to Kenya's evolving development priorities. The program showcased today aims our contribution to macroeconomic management, sectoral transformation, and job creation at both national and county levels. Through these programs, Kipra continues to support ministries, departments, agencies, and governments with timely evidence-based policy research towards the delivery of bottom-up economic transformation agenda and through the fourth medium-term plan. The Kenya Economic Report 2025, which we launched today, is Kipra's flagship statutory publication. This year's theme, creating decent jobs for prosperity, is particularly timely where the economic growth in 2024 demonstrates notable resilience. The structure and quality of employment remain a key policy challenge. As highlighted in the report and operated by the ED of Kipra and ED KNPS, job creation has largely occurred in the informal sector, underscoring the need for deliberate policy interventions to improve job quality, productivity, and income security. The report demonstrates clear evidence that macroeconomic stability must be complemented by targeted sectoral strategies if Kenya is to achieve the fourth MTP target of creating an average of 1.2 million jobs a year. The report underscores the importance of improving productivity and strengthening linkages across sectors to create inclusive and decent jobs for our citizens. This report gives policymakers the evidence they need to scale up job creation under fourth MTP and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, today we also launched the Kenya Fiscal Instance Report on poverty and distributional impacts of fiscal policy in Kenya with extensions to gender and children, which is produced in cooperation with KNPS, the World Bank, UNICEF, and the African Center of Excellence for Inequality Research. This report, as indicated by Kumau Fon, is an important step forward in strengthening Kenya's evidence base for fiscal and social policy decision making. This report reinforces the role of fiscal policy as a key instrument for inclusive development. It demonstrates that public investments in education, in health, and social protection continue to play a critical redistribution role to reduce inequality and improve welfare outcomes, especially for the children, as noted by our ED. It provides also clear signals on the policy refinements that are required to enhance equity and efficiency, particularly in relation to the pattern of indirect taxation on vulnerable households and regions. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to focus on the final engagement that's part of the Institute's capacity building work. That is the KIPRA YB, or the Young Professional Program. The graduates will be today, of course. The YP program has become a national benchmark for nurturing early career researchers and public policy practitioners who go on to occupy key positions across government, development agencies, the private sector, and also we see it in academia. This flagship program that started in 2005 has enjoyed growth from the initial 12 participants at the reception to the current state where we have 37 participants in this year 25-26 cohort. We are therefore thankful to the support of the Kenya government and our development partners who continue to support us in that effort. To date, we have 303 graduates that have passed through this program and are now taking the lead and making an impact in various institutions, both in public and in private, and both local and international, while supporting the development of evidence-based and responsive policies. Our vision is to expand this program further and urge both public and private sector players to enroll their policy analysts and researchers into this program, which now encompasses self-sponsored participants. This year, 28 young policy researchers graduate from the program, that's today, joining a growing alumni network. The program's state growth reflects the government's commitment to building strong local policy expertise. We are proud of the 24th, 25th graduates for the effort and discipline you've shown throughout the year. Hongera on this milestone. We are confident that you will help advance evidence-based and inclusive public policy in Kenya. Maybe a clap for them. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the KIPRA board, I reaffirm our commitment to the strengthening KIPRA's institutional capacity and governance systems in line with its 2023-27 strategic plan. This includes supporting the Institute's efforts to deepen county-level policy research, mainstream gender-responsive analysis, invest in advanced modeling and data systems, and modernize research communication to improve policy uptake. It's noteworthy that we are currently in the process of acquiring KIPRA headquarters, an indication that we are more of homeless. This acquisition will enable the Institute to reduce operational costs and create a modern, fully equipped environment that will support both national and county governments in capacity building and the production of high-quality policy research. collaboration, and policy engagement. This investment reflects Kipra's strategic role of being a global benchmark in public policy. These strategic reforms and directions are essential to ensuring that Kipra continues to provide credible, timely, and actionable policy advice that supports the delivery of fourth MTP and bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Strong institutions underpinned by sound governance and skilled human capital remain indispensable to achieving inclusive growth, reducing inequality, and creating decent jobs for all. As I conclude, I want, maybe of the remarks, but noted significantly, the Chief Case Fund CS to thank you personally and through your PS for making Kipra to become more efficient. First, you approved our hiring of the new executive director, Dr. Elda Soma, who is here with us, maybe just wave, powerful and strong lady. We are so grateful the process was smooth. Second, you also approved, I know the budget fiscal discipline constraints years, but you allowed Kipra, approved our request as a board to hire 41 new staff so that we are able to deliver on our mandate. We thank you so much. And for those ones maybe who've not seen it, the advert is out. Feel free to apply if you're interested. Then, finally, to thank you, Bwana CS. We had been having problems of audit qualification, and with the intervention, support of PS, Bwana CS, now it's going to not be a problem again. It's removed on our record, so next year we will not have that qualified report. With the Kipra Rand, I'm sure soon we're going to be getting the title. Actually, by next week, I'm told. So thank you so much. But you know, as your son, we also, because we know we are growing, we have to make some quick requests or asks. First, we risk being homeless. You had said that us and KNPS, we should avoid paying rent. And as the board, we've moved very fast, and we are asking for your support, Bwana CS, to have Kipra headquarters. So with your support, we are hoping that in this supplementary budget, you support us to budget our building. And having talked to you, I think it's going to support our PS. We see it's possible. Lastly, second request, Bwana CS, I know you've got a very sensitive and busy office. Other than the headquarters, we ask that you support our budget, in this supplementary budget. We want to be able to continue training these YPs, to continue having graduates. So kindly consider to support our budget so that we continue the program. As I finish, I also want to thank the partners, the World Bank and UNICEF, consider us in supporting our research. Include us in your budgets so that the research will continue generating more outputs. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I want to sincerely thank all our partners, including government, institutions, development partners, academia and research networks for supporting these efforts. To Kipra staff, Kipra team, your dedication has made today possible. The outputs we launch today reflect hours of analytical work, research, dialogue, and consultation. We appreciate every one of you, the Kipra staff. It's now my honor to welcome Dr. Boniface Makoha, the Principal Secretary of the State Department of Economic Planning, to give his remarks and welcome the chief guest thereafter. And to all, thank you, and may God bless you. Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year 2026. And Bwana PS Karibu, remember our asks, and majorly is the Kipra headquarters purchase. Continue keeping it for us.
Thank you. Our chief guest, the CS, John Mbadi, who is the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, will be able to respond to the asks. He's my boss. I want also to recognize all the partners who are in the House, the UNICEF, the World Bank. I also recognize all the CEOs from our sagas that are here, other development partners who are here, members of media, all the distinguished guests. I am delighted this afternoon to join in this meeting for the launch of the Kenya Economic Report 2025 and the Kenya Physical Incidence Analysis Report, as well as to join in for the graduation of the Kipra young professionals. Chief guest, before I continue reading my official remarks, allow me just to bring to your attention that it is now 1 day shy, 7 months since I came into office. And it will be important for me to highlight one or two things as a scorecard for what we've been able to achieve together in this State Department through your leadership, our chief guest. Our slogan in the State Department is usually data-driven, people-focused, and result-oriented. But I want to highlight that as much as that is a slogan, we believe that data is the new currency that we have to use. But it can never be a very valuable currency unless we have proper analysis. And that is why on my very first day of assuming office, with your leadership, chief guest, you allowed me to bring together all sagas. It has become a tradition for us to work and work as a team. Yes, you might see 2 CEOs here. The rest, chief guests, are in Mombasa because as a State Department, we have decided to undertake what we are calling re-engineering the economic planning function. So all of them, those who are here, have come to represent the rest who are already in Mombasa, and I'll be joining them. And this is because of your leadership. For this last 7 months, chief guest, a few things we've been able to achieve. Number one, to come up with a draft economic policy and bill. For a very long time, probably we've had provisions in the law, but scattered here and there. And through your leadership, sir, this draft economic planning bill and policy is now with the stakeholders for their input. So we've been also able to bring together the economic planning both at national and county, integrating so that we plan together. And remember, it is you who launched the training of our planners at national level and at county level in October. And we have done first phase. That is a milestone for us because we will now be able to speak and read from one script. With your leadership, sir, we are launching out Gumzo la Uchumi Mashinani, where together with you, we will be able to reach villages, to reach sub-counties, and have a sit-in with wananchi, the local people at grassroots level, so that they understand what we are doing and we get their feedback so that it feeds into what we are looking to undertake, the long-term plan after Vision 2030. If you allowed me, I'll go on and on, but I thought it's good to highlight that and just say thank you for your leadership. For the last 7 months, you have made the economic planning to take back its rightful seat where it has to be a nerve center of anything that happens in this country. Allow me, sir, to continue with my very few remarks because I know it is your day. I just want to commend Kipra for being very consistent in producing high-quality reports that provide timely, credible, and policy-relevant policy that are relevant to the national development. Today's theme, and this year's theme of Kenya's economic report, is creating decent jobs for prosperity. This is indeed very, very strategic for this government. While economic growth remains important, the true measure of our success lies in the quality of jobs we have created. Sustainability and prosperity, I believe, will only be achieved if growth translates into gainful, secure, and inclusive employment opportunities that we as a government are endeavoring to undertake. The job creation that we are undertaking must therefore go hand in hand with productivity, must go hand in hand with income security for all the Kenyans. Kenya's economic growth is mainly driven largely by the performance in several sectors, but mainly agriculture and services. Employment has improved across key sectors. Inflation has declined to within government's target range. Easing monetary policies supported by access to credit and private sector recovery. So I take cognizance of the persistent challenges highlighted in the report, particularly the subdued growth in industrial sector. This underscores the urgency of accelerating the structural transformation, which you have already begun and doing. A strong industrial base remains indispensable for creating high-quality jobs, enhancing competitiveness, and sustaining long-term growth. Allow me just to highlight a few things about our backbone, the better as a backbone of our national development. The better has transformed this economy, and already the results speak for themselves. A few, if I may note, inflation has reduced, and since you assumed office, chief guest, we have seen inflation reduce up to as low as 3.8% in June 2025, from what was about 9%. Maize flour, you can check the prices, they are retailing averagely around 150. We also know that there are many flagship projects, affordable housing program, that has created 300 plus jobs. We have SHA, which we have a record enrollment of above 25 million registered members, which is a milestone for us. Financial inclusion has also been enhanced through the Hustler Fund. We have also seen currently a project on the youth. We're empowering the youth, a Nyota project in all the wards of our country. This is in the spirit, sir, of our government, with your leadership that are in this ministry and State Department, of leaving no one behind. Today, as we launch the Fiscal Incident Analysis Report titled Poverty and Distributional Impact of Fiscal Policy in Kenya, a commitment to equity assessment with extensions to gender and children, this report clearly shows that expanding targeted social transfers improves the equity of public spending and strengthening access to essential services. This, if we do that, significantly reduces poverty and inequality. These findings therefore reinforce the need for policy coherence, aligning employment creation with social protection, tax equity, and gender-responsive budgeting. Decent jobs alone are not sufficient without strong safety nets and inclusive public services. This is one of the very foundation that the better agenda is riding on. Therefore, the two reports that we are launching today, they are not just merely academic publications. They are policy instruments and a call to action. As the State Department for Economic Planning, we remain fully committed to the evidence-based planning and policy making through partnership with institutions, all stakeholders, and especially working together with our agency, KNBS and KIPRA, on this. Let me, sir, as I conclude, congratulate the young professionals graduating today. As we know, the youth constitute the largest segment of our labor force and represent a vital asset for the national development, innovation, and social transformation. The government remains committed to empowering youth and engaging them meaningfully in strategic sectors of economy, consistent with our constitution, policies, and development frameworks. To the graduates today, as you graduate and proceed to serve the nation, I want to urge you to be ambassadors of integrity, professionalism, and excellence, to be agents of positive change and leaders who will shape Kenya's future. It is now my honor and privilege to invite the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, Honorable FCPA John Mbadi, to deliver his keynote address and officially launch the reports. We should be upstanding. Let's clap for the guest of honor. Karibu sana sir.
We can resume our sitting, tafadhali. Dr. Boniface Makoha, Principal Secretary, State Department for Economic Planning, other senior government officials present this afternoon, Professor Paul Wachana, Chairperson, KIPRA Board, other board members of KIPRA, my friend Shimao from World Bank, and UNICEF representative, Executive Director, KIPRA, Dr. Elda Onsomu, McDonald Obudo, Director General, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, other Chief Executive Officers present, private sector representatives, county governments represented, development partners, others whom I have not mentioned, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's indeed true from what the PS said that I think we haven't, as a country, previously anchored State Department in its rightful place in our national development agenda. And when I met with the PS when he was appointed, fortunately he was appointed after I had been appointed earlier, and we agreed that we must make a complete about turn or U-turn to anchor State Department of Economic Planning, to give it its rightful place in our development agenda, because we need learning. It's no wonder that you have Public Finance Management Acts and you have Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act to guide on how to procure and spend money. But you have nothing guiding how we do planning in this country. So we agreed that we must come up with a draft, with economic planning bill and policies around planning, so that as a country we plan properly for development. And if you interact with our budget, you'll appreciate what I am talking about. We have been budgeting in a haphazard manner. Even our engagement with the development partners is haphazard. A lot of it is supply-driven. Development partner comes and says, we have some money we can put here, and then we start processing documents, agreements are prepared, and we put signatures to them without asking ourselves, how does it tie with our vision as a country? How does it tie with the government agenda, medium-term plans? So we have medium-term plans, we have all these things, but we don't tie our budget to our planning. And therefore, the result of our investment, in terms of our resource investment, does not yield the maximum value that it should. And so our planning, again, I just wanted preliminarily to mention two things, which I call distortions. The other distortion was the disconnect between the national planning and the county planning. We have been operating like we are running 48 countries, yet we know very well we have one country with devolved units. So there has been limited integration between the plans at the county level and the plans at the national level, and we are trying to cure that. And so we have already launched this. I'm happy, on a PS, that you're pushing this forward, and we will, and again, also start the Gumzo la Uchumi Mashinani, which I will personally take leadership, and will work with the PS together with the team. I want to thank you, the team from the State Department, for a job well done. Let us proceed. I will give you the necessary support that you need for our country to realize better economic growth. I will say a few things in 2 minutes once I finish my official speech. Allow me to get back to my official speech. Research and development are inseparable aspects that have to be taken into consideration for any country's development agenda to be successful. It is why it is a delight to join you this afternoon as we launch the Kenya Economic Report 2025, which is Kenya Fiscal Analysis Report. Kenya Fiscal Incidence Analysis Report. We combine this launch with witnessing the graduation of 28 young professionals who have undergone capacity building by KIPRA in the year 2024-2025. And to the graduates, congratulations for working hard to realize this feat. I know you are some of the best brains we have in the country, because for you to get into this program, you must have been above average. This was not a place for average people and below. I know how you were recruited or how you got into this program. You are definitely some of the best brains that we have in this country. I am sure you will not let us down. So this is an opportune moment to not only reflect but also appreciate Kipra's contribution to the national development agenda through policy research and analysis, capacity building, policy advisory, and providing platforms for policy engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, our country is on an economic growth trajectory, opening strategic investment and employment opportunities across critical sectors of our economy. There are clear evidence of development and employment creation by government and the private sector across the country, though not enough. And maybe I'll come back to that as I wind up. This growth is partially attributed to government efforts to unlock immense economic potential through various programs and projects that have been initiated across the country, thereby stimulating economic activities, creating jobs, and contributing to improved social services. Allow me first to focus on the key highlights from the Kenya Economic Report of 2025, which will guide our policy focus going forward. The Kenya Economy Report has over the last 16 years played a pivotal role in informing our nation's economic planning, shaped public policy, and guided dialogue on development priorities. The 2025 Kenya Economic Report is deemed Creating Decent Jobs for Prosperity. It comes at a time when the country is consolidating economic recovery, bolstering macroeconomic stability, and ensuring growth translates into inclusive opportunities for our youthful population. This report is timely and well aligned or aligning with the government's priorities in creation of opportunities for youth under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and the fourth medium-term plan. The report provides policy evidence on the 4.7% economic growth witnessed in 2024, characterized by the resilience of our economy to various economic shocks emanating from both domestic and global environment. I'm sure we are all aware of the recent shocks that faced not only our economy but even other global economies, starting with the COVID-19 to drought in the Horn of Africa and extensive flooding in this country, coupled with other internal challenges, especially the uprising of the young generation mid last year. The report further underscores an employment growth rate of 3.9% registered in 2024, translating to 782,300 new jobs. The report also indicates that there is need for continued efforts to address informal employment, ensuring inclusivity in employment, and diversifying employment opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, agriculture continues to be the main employer and the foundation of our economy. However, limited access to timely agricultural information and adoption of modern technology in farming continues to hamper productivity. Agriculture extension services and digital platforms have potential to enhance agricultural productivity and promotion of youth participation in agriculture. Manufacturing contribution to the economy is estimated at 7.6% in terms of gross domestic product, and this is a cornerstone of value addition and structural transformation agenda. The growth of manufacturing sector and its ability to create jobs and absorb more labor is hindered by cost of doing business, quality standards, price competitiveness, and access to markets. To revitalize manufacturing, the government will accelerate development of county aggregated and industrial parks, promote MSMEs, and provide investment incentives and critical services, including infrastructure. The report underscores strengthening of domestic trade, which is a major source of livelihood to most Kenyans. Domestic trade has experienced a steady growth, especially in wholesale and retail trade. However, this will need us to address various challenges in employment, such as inadequate protection and informality. So this report also emphasizes on boosting skills development, enhancing workforce or workplace infrastructure, and formalizing businesses to unlock decent jobs in this sector. We are highly encouraged by these findings and will continue to utilize existing programs such as Hustler Fund and other MSMEs funds to support our small traders. The report also outlines how investment in TVET can equip our young people with market-relevant skills. The government of Kenya has been expanding TVET institutions, rolling out recognition of prior learning, and building partnerships with the private sector to match skills with emerging job opportunities, including in manufacturing and digital economy and green mobility. So on development in counties as well as arid and semi-arid regions, this is what I can report. The report provides county-level analysis indicating wide disparities in access to decent job opportunities. In ourselves, the challenges are significant, but so are the opportunities, particularly in livestock value chains, climate-resilient agriculture, leather processing, and rural enterprise development. We need to take advantage of these opportunities because I will tell you at the moment, we are facing severe droughts in some sections of this country. About 12 or so counties are facing severe drought, exposing about 2.1 million Kenyans to hunger and starvation. Therefore, instead of looking at this as challenges, we need to take advantage of these challenges and realize opportunities out of them. And I've just mentioned what we can do with the livestock value chains, climate resilient agriculture, leather processing. We could take advantage of this and make those areas economically sustainable. So as government, we will continue to prioritize arid and semi-arid lands development agenda under MTP4 to guarantee inclusive growth across all regions of our nation. We must revise the section of paper number 10. So the Kenya Economic Report 2025 findings emphasize the vital role of strong institutions and human capital in advancing economic transformation. There is a need to strengthen institutions and capacity for better policy outcomes. I'm sure you're aware that the advantage that this country has in the region is our human capital. Very solid, very firm, very strong in all aspects. Apart from intelligence, speaking good English, we are also very hardworking. You wake up at 3, Kenyans are all over in the streets, and they sleep past midnight, working. So that is a human capital that we can exploit and take advantage of. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now focus on the second report that we are launching today. That is the Kenya Fiscal Incidence Analysis Report. The report was developed in collaboration with the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics and KIPRA, in collaboration with the World Bank, UNICEF, and thank you, our development partners, and the African Center of Excellence for Inequality Research, University of Nairobi. It looks at the impacts of fiscal policy on poverty, particularly across gender and among children. The government is committed to fighting poverty and inequality as enshrined in our national development agenda. We have made significant progress combating these double threats. Some of the key initiatives the government has implemented include promoting broad-based access to public services and income-generating opportunities and ensuring fairness in resource distribution and political representation, especially among vulnerable and marginalized groups. We have invested in education, as you are aware, healthcare, and social protection programs such as cash transfers, which I think World Bank addressed, and UNICEF, to address poverty and inequality. Even with these efforts, ladies and gentlemen, our journey to ensuring no Kenyan remains poor is still long and challenging. It is incumbent upon us to double our efforts to move the most vulnerable in our society, including women, rural households, communities in arid and semi-arid lands, and children who bear the greatest burden of poverty out of poverty. But I would also like to laud KIPRA for its ongoing efforts in building capacity within government through the Young Professionals Program, which is today graduating 29 young professionals who have successfully completed the one-year intensive program. We pray, thank you, and again, congratulations to the graduates. We pray that as they join the workforce, they will be champions of evidence-based policy, public policy to drive transformation and inclusive growth. I wish to emphasize that empowering youths is a priority for the government, and more importantly, when enabling them to play an active role in planning and decision-making, which my ministry is mandated to do. The youth are a significant human resource for economic development. They are also key agents for fostering social change, political inclusion, and technological innovation. The youth represent the wealth, strength, and drivers of innovation and economic development in Kenya. Young people have been active architects in economic development and continue to be engaged in the frameworks and processes that support the implementation of national development goals. Therefore, the Young Professional Program implemented at KIPRA is one of the systematic and deliberate efforts by government to appropriately empower and equip the youth with necessary knowledge, skills, and values to enable them to participate in the policy-making process for the realization of the country's full potential. For the realization of the country's full potential. So, the young people, you have been given knowledge, or your knowledge has been improved. I'm sure you will tell me you came when you were knowledgeable enough. But your knowledge has been improved, more skills imparted, and values. I'm sure when you were training them, KIPRA, there's nowhere you told them to get rich quickly by taking public resources. And at times, we train people, they get very knowledgeable, and the first thing that they do when they get into employment is to look for shortcuts of getting rich. That you think the best achievement in life is to buy a 4-wheel drive in your first year of employment. It's more rewarding to leave an impact, to leave an impression in the office where you are worked for, to be known for your integrity. It's more rewarding than if you are known as someone who looted the country. The stories around you will not be very nice. The newspaper cuttings will be discouraging for anyone reading about your story if it is laced with scandals after scandals. So, young people, you not only got knowledge and skills, but you are taught values. Live those values. Live those values. If each one of us live the values collectively, the country will move forward. So, to graduates, active participation in national development programs by young people enable youth interests and needs to be included in development plans, besides giving opportunity to the youth to make their contributions in other societal growth and development interests and to get better understanding. Finally, I wish to reiterate the fact that we look forward to the participation of the young professionals in the generation of evidence-based policies and practices. I am convinced that during your one-year training, you are able to learn new knowledge, as I mentioned, skills, and again I want to repeat, values that will guide you in your future endeavors. With that, I wish you a bright future and congratulate you for this remarkable achievement. I urge ministries, department, agencies, and counties to continue collaborating with KIPRA to enhance their workforce capacity in public policy, macroeconomic modeling, and other skills to enhance effective public policy making in our country. A well-equipped public service is crucial for effective policy implementation and for driving our national development agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, the Kenya Economic Report of 2025 is a rallying call to create an economy that provides every Kenyan with decent work, dignified income, and be able to contribute to national prosperity. The recommendations in this report will enrich the implementation of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and MTP4 and other broader vision for a productive, inclusive, and vibrant economy. I reaffirm the government's commitment to support KIPRA in fulfilling its mandate of providing evidence-based policy advice and strengthening public policy-making processes across the country. Let us remember that the journey toward a better Kenya is a collective endeavor. It requires dedication and collaboration from all of us. Together, we can overcome our challenges and accelerate our national development agenda. And so, before I officially launch the report, allow me just to mention two or more things. Actually, one. I know we have said that our economy has demonstrated resilience and that our economy is growing above average in the region and even globally. Last year, 4.7%. This year, the first quarter, our economy grew at 4.9%. Second quarter, 5%. It's likely to grow 5.1%, 5.2% in the third and fourth quarter. That's perfectly okay. But I will tell you that for this economy to create the kind of jobs and the number of jobs that we need for those young people who are coming out of colleges and training institutions, for them to get employment, and which we must, because if there is one big challenge that we have is the unemployment among our youth. We need an economic growth of not less than 7%. 7% and above, that is the target. That is when now people will feel that we have an economy that is growing. Otherwise, you will still continue to hear of where is the money. We don't feel the money in our pocket. The money may just be there in your pocket, but there are so many mouths relying on that money. If you are one person earning in a family of 10, certainly even if you are earning high salary, you will not feel money in your pocket because you are feeding so many people. A lot of black tax around you. If you add to the tax from me, the one that I come for, then you are completely disorganized and you will be a very unhappy Kenyan employee. So then it means we have to take steps, deliberate steps, to grow our economy at above 7%. And for us to do that, there are certain sectors that we must work on. One of them is the manufacturing sector. This economy has suffocated for some time. Construction sector was shrinking late last year, early this year. It has picked up, okay, but still not to the level we want it to. Mining sector was contracting. It has picked up now at about 10% growth. But we still want a better growth. But more importantly is the manufacturing sector. There is no economy that can create decent jobs, as we have put it here, if the manufacturing sector is struggling and sluggish. So we must create opportunities for the manufacturing sector to thrive. And that you cannot do by remaining at the same level in terms of creating infrastructure for that. How do you expect the manufacturing sector of a country to grow when energy is a challenge, which is the basic production, which is what you need for production? The basic factor of production is energy. Yet its cost and reliability is a problem. So you need resources to put into energy generation and transmission. You need resources to put into other infrastructure like roads. Our airport is a shame. Maybe those of you who don't travel, you don't know what I'm talking about. Those of you here who travel and you are the majority, you can attest to what I'm talking about. For an economy which is the largest in the region, East and Central Africa, it is a shame that we still have that kind of, and we call it an international airport. Something must be done about it. Something must be done about roads. If you take Thika Road, it's already crowded. It's pathetic. It's a problem. To reach here, you have to leave town, city CBD, 1 hour before. If you don't, you'll be in trouble, unless you are like me, who can misbehave a bit. I have the advantage of misbehaving kidogo kidogo. But even with that, you get stuck. We need, our major trading partner in the region is Uganda. The road to Uganda, how is it? The road leading us to our next major trading partner, our next neighbor, Tanzania, is terrible. And many others. We are relying on rain-fed agriculture. That's why we can't feed our people. Yet we have the capacity to do dams and have water, do irrigation, generate power. Many, many others. I can go on and on. Therefore, but again, you have those good ideas on how to grow the economy. But where is the fiscal space? I engage a lot with my brother here, Chimao, telling me your debt sustainability is compromised. And I look at him and I say, okay, you could be having a point. But what do? We cannot take more loans. That is the reality. We can't tax you more. In fact, we should reduce taxes. That is what the government is thinking about. The announcement you should hear is that we are reducing taxes, especially on pay as you earn. That is the announcement. I don't think any one of you is expecting or waiting for any tax hikes, tax rate. We would milk you dry. There will be no cow to drink again, to milk again. So we must look for other innovative ways of raising funds. And we have some mature assets, like Safaricom. It's mature. Value, assets. KBC. When you want to offload some shares, a few people who don't even understand where they're coming from and where they're going to are telling you, no, you cannot do that. Let me ask you. I know many Kenyans don't like, especially those who grew in our generation, don't like Nyayo. When you hear of Nyayo, you think. But Safaricom, Nyayo offloaded 40%. Did Safaricom die? It became bigger. But now let me bring you to President. You keep on referring to us having done a good job. Kibaki. You offloaded 25%. Did Safaricom die? Now if we are offloading 15%, why are we making noise? And these other presidents offloaded that percentage na tukakula. You cannot show anything for it. That's what we got, the proceeds we got from Safaricom. As we are saying, that money will not be used for budgetary support. The money that we are going to raise out of privatization will not use for budget deficit. And that you can take to the bank. We are creating a fund for investment in our infrastructure. Where now I would be able to tell you that this SGR from Naivasha to Kisumu, it was developed at, say, $3 billion, and $500 million came from this fund. The rest came from other investors, institutional investors, private sector. We are going to crowd in money in this country if we have this infrastructure fund. That is the route to take. And we also have to leave something for the future generation. We keep on giving an example of titanium. See, we had titanium somewhere in Kwale. Are you aware we had titanium there? Is it there anymore? Where is it? The future generation will ask you, where did you take our titanium? You must leave something for the future generation. And that is why we are also creating through a legislation, an act of parliament, sovereign wealth fund. Support us in this as Kenyans, and we will deliver. We are going to deliver. We will move the country forward, because for this country to move forward, you need some courage. You need a very courageous president. And besides that president, you need someone who is also somehow courageous in the Ministry of National Treasury and Economic Planning. So I'm that person who has some courage. I believe we can do this. We can move forward. We can go on. We can implement some of the programs that have become very difficult over the years to be implemented. You are using now Treasury single account, isn't it? Treasury single account is costing you inconvenience, I know. But that is what it was intended to achieve. To make it difficult for people to profit unreasonably from our public resources. You are paying taxes. You need those resources, the taxes, to go into value addition, not to go into people's pockets. So we are making it very difficult. If I tell you today some of the things we are discovering, how officers, especially those who belong to my profession, we are very dangerous. Accountants, we create one invoice, they submit for payment even 3 times. That's what we have been going on. That is what has been going on in this country. And we are putting a stop to that through Treasury single account. They are still fighting my e-procurement very hard, pushback, serious, and they are sometimes succeeding somewhere. I'm pushing back. But let me tell you, very soon, early in the year, there will be no excuse for e-procurement. Right now, I'm happy with those MDAs, counties, which have embraced the e-procurement. But those ones who are still having excuses, now the doors are closing. We are not going to give you more exemptions. Yeah? You better start now learning quickly if you have not, your office have not learned how to use the system. Learn quickly, very quickly. Otherwise, you will find it almost impossible to procure. And you will not blame us, because why are others procuring and you can't procure? Anyway, I'm probably not talking to accounting officers here. Maybe there's only 1 or 2. But I'm talking to Kenyans anyway. So let us work together. This country belongs to us. We must make it better. Let's not other people come after us and ask, what were you doing? Remember, the Gen Zs told us that everybody in positions of leadership must go home. In fact, they scared me. I was like, hey, now this young generation, what is wrong with them? They want all of us to go home because they believe all their problems cease India to make cause. And they are right. We were given the opportunity to make life and improve things and make life better for them. We have failed them. But those of us who are still lucky to be in these positions, can we do things differently so that tomorrow they can say, we learned something, especially out of the agitation. Let it not be in vain. Let not the lives of those young people, those people who lost their lives in the streets of Nairobi and other towns in the country last year, be in vain. Let us make things better. And the things they have been complaining about have been piling up over the years, for so many years. But there must be a time to put a stop. And that time is now, especially now that the young generation have come forward to sensitize us, to make it known to us that they have been unhappy with us, and it has been boiling. Each one of us at individual level, let us make a contribution. That is my final plea to you, and I want to thank you for being patient with me, and I was also very patient with you. Chairman, you know I told you that I was to leave by 1. But you called me on the stage after 1. So if I speak for long, I am revenging. I'm just paying you back for what you have done to me. So now it is my privilege and honor to officially launch the Economic Report 2025 and Kenya Fiscal Incidence Analysis Report. And then later I will preside over the award ceremony for the certificates of the young professionals, which I'm told will not take much time. So kindly bear with us and witness the next session where we are going to award the certificates. These young people for 1 year have gone through rigorous training. The most decent thing we can do for them is to encourage them and motivate them by witnessing their graduation. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, our chief guest. I will request that Kaidre, you allow me to invite a few members to join on the stage as we transition to the official launch. Allow me to invite our PS Economic Planning to join you, the KIPRA chairperson of the board to join you, KIPRA ED, Dr. Adam Som, also DG KBS, our guest from UNICEF, World Bank, UN, and also our board members to join the chief guest so that we are able to launch these 2 reports. I request the communication team to guide me on protocol, how we are going to proceed here for the purpose of launch. Our chief guest, Kaidre, will be launching from this side, the Kenya Economic Report. KIPRA board members, Kaidre, join the chief guest. The protocol officer, you guide us. Okay, thank you very much. We have the countdown. Where's the team? Let's appreciate, let's just give a loud of applause as we launch the Kenya Economic Report 2025. Continue giving a loud of applause. The Kenya Economic Report 2025 is officially launched by our chief guest, FCPA, Honorable John Badi. Thank you very much, our chief guest. We will now transit to the other side.
And there we have it. There you see the launch of the Kenya Economic Report 2025 that has just been launched by the Cabinet Secretary, John Mbadi, Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning, just launching the Kenya Fiscal Incidence Analysis Report as well on poverty and distributional impacts of fiscal policy in Kenya, with extensions to gender and children and young professionals who as well are graduating today. This is an event that has been organized by the Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis, or KIPRA. And coincidentally, today is KIPRA Day, where researchers and stakeholders in this sector are celebrating issues regarding research and policy making. Remember, policy making and fiscal impacts are what guides what is put in implementation at the end of the day, and it is what the National Treasury was here to witness and launch, where, by the way, just to remind you, we have 3 events. We have the launch of the Kenya Economic Report 2025 and the launch of the Kenya Fiscal Incidence Analysis report. And we also have distributional impacts of fiscal policy in Kenya with extension to gender and children and young professionals graduation, which we have 29 young professionals that have graduated in the fiscal year 2024-2025 from Kipra, being trained in research and policy making in this sector. And we also just got a very good speech from the Cabinet Secretary. He was speaking about policy making and why we need to anchor ourselves in policy, especially when it comes to economic planning. He was saying that we don't yet have economic planning policy, that we do have the Public Finance Management Act as a policy, for example. We also have the Public Procurement Act policies, but nothing guiding on planning. And so therefore we should work on planning policy, economic planning policies, and that is why we're here today, where we're witnessing professionals graduating in the industry, and also how we can move forward to make this sector vibrant and make the country vibrant as well. And there you have it. That has been a wrap-up of what has been happening, what you have been watching since morning. While you joined us early in the morning, we were talking about policy making and research in these sectors, and therefore that is what was happening incidentally. 3 reports being launched and graduation, just to show how vibrant the sector is and the economic planning is taking off if we are to realize economic growth in this country. Therefore I hand you over to Jackie Wambiru, who is on standby in Broadcasting House. We have been live from Safari Park here. My name is Alan Ako. Back to you, Jackie Wambiru.
Thank you, Alan. Well, that was economic future and shared prosperity.